Chapter 899 Refinement Successful. Chapter 899 Refinement Successful. People who become big don't care about small matters. To achieve great things, one must be vicious in heart and use any means at all. Pan Zhon was such a person. His way of doing things was insidious and ruthless. As long as it was an enemy, he could use any means at his disposal to attack them. Long Fei had been training with all his might this entire month. Then he would definitely not let Long Fei have it easy. Logistics Department. When Long Fei came out of the God's Devil space, his eyebrows were tightly furrowed. I can't do it, I can't do it, I've tried over 3,000 times, but I still can't do it, I can't control it at all. Although the Destiny Changer used the Yang Huang ancestors' words to find substitutes for spirit grass of the same attribute, it would not miss a single strand of control over the attributes of the 18 types of spirit grass. It was truly difficult to fuse them together, and Long Fei did not have that much power to control them. Even if he could control it, even if Long Fei could succeed in refining it, so what? If this pill was not produced using energy, it still would not work, and would not achieve the effect that Long Fei wanted. He had to improve it to the point where even the elders of the drug race could easily refine it successfully. Only then would he be able to mass-produce Destiny Changer S and earn money crazily. Yang Huang ancestor said slightly, "Don't be in such a rush to improve it, you have to refine it first. Only by refining it successfully can you learn from your experiences." Long Fei exhaled, and said, "Amen, I will do my best." There are only 2 days left. Long Fei was also starting to worry. He was not afraid of the alchemy competition at all, he was just afraid that he would not be able to complete the super divine evaluation. Returning to his residence, Leader Sun walked over and reported a few things. 18 Great Matrial Halls has formed a unified alliance. Young Master Long, the battle team ranking tournament you participated in, personal qualifying fight, and even the alchemy battles have all received special care. Green Dragon Matrial Hall, Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, and White Tiger have formed the strongest 8 teams to block you with all their strength. The other 14 College of Martial Arts Training S will also do their best to stop you. This time, you are the only one they will target, and we will be facing the entire God Emperor Academy, Leader Sun slowly said. The situation had developed beyond their imagination. To fight against the entire God Emperor Academy? This had never happened before in the history of the establishment of the God Emperor Academy, so no one had ever succeeded. Long Fei did not feel surprised. So what if the whole world treated him as their enemy? If they stopped him, they would only become the driving force behind his efforts, and he would only be able to step on them. Long Fei asked, "How are Dao Feng and the rest, any news?" Leader Sun said, "I went over this morning, and they are still in closed-door cultivation." Presbyter Chiu said that they will definitely come out before the competition. "Right. Arrogant Dragon Squad can't rely on me alone, so I need them too." Long Fei was very clear that a single person was not strong in a team. What kind of effect would a full 2 months of seclusion have? Long Fei was very much looking forward to it. Long Fei couldn't help but ask when he didn't see Aoya in the logistics department, "Where are Aoya and the others?" The Leader Sun replied, "They left in the morning. I don't know where they went." Yesterday, Elder Aoya said that her insight into sword method had already matured. Challenge. Long Fei muttered softly, and said, "Leader Sun, there are still 2 days' time. After they return, tell them not to go out again. Who knows if it will be dangerous or not?" No one was allowed to get into trouble at this time of day. Leader Sun replied, "All right." When Long Fei returned to his room, his mind was still thinking about the refining of the Destiny Changer, and his mind was constantly working on the deduction, how do I refine it successfully? It's too difficult. Green Dragon Ancestor, do you know how to refine it? The Green Dragon Ancestor said slightly, "Boss, everything depends on you." "Fine, pretend I didn't ask." Long Fei brought this upon himself. He clearly knew that Green Dragon Ancestor would not tell him, he could not help but ask. Sea Dragon King muttered, "Azure Dragon, do you know how to refine it?" The Black Dragon Ancestor nodded his head and said, "Sea Dragon King, have you forgotten that the Azure Dragon is the dragon race's #1 alchemy master? That's why he was sent to the powder tripod by the seal. Sea Dragon King disdainfully replied, "Then you definitely know of it, right? If you know, just tell me." Green Dragon Ancestor became silent. Blood Dragon Ancestor followed, "Alchemy said it won't kill you, right? Big Brother Azure Dragon, can you not be so persistent?" Everyone looked at the Azure Dragon. As the #1 alchemy technique of the Dragon Clan, Azure Dragon naturally knew where the key point of the Destiny Changer was. There was silence for half a minute. Green Dragon Ancestor relaxed a little and said, "Boss, try going against the rules." Green Dragon Ancestor's voice suddenly sounded. Long Fei was shocked. Retrograde? Suddenly. His limited thoughts suddenly opened. Damn, so that's how it is, ha ha ha. Destiny Changer are pills that can defy the heavens and change fate. Even Chaos Realm's Destiny Changer are hard to refine, so the lack of high-level spirit grass in God's martial continent is definitely even more difficult. Reverse. Reverse. Ha ha ha. Long Fei became extremely excited and said, "Azure Dragon, thank you." His thoughts immediately broadened. The more you think about it, the more you get stuck in your mind, like a bull's eye. If you can get out of your mind, you might be able to see a different effect from another perspective. The Azure Dragon's words woke Long Fei up. It made everyone's blood boil in an instant. And then, Long Fei closed the door and faintly said, "Let's try out a new set of alchemy techniques." Half a minute later, Long Fei was shocked, just a little more, just a little more. Ding. Refining failed. This failure did not make Long Fei depressed, but instead made him incomparably excited. He had already touched the threshold of success. Again. Ding. Refinery failure. Ding. Refinery failure. Every failure made Long Fei feel like he had taken a big step forward. Every failure made him realize the flaw in refining Destiny Changer. 2 hours later. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei for creating Destiny Changer with 10,000 experience, 1,000 power of Celestial, 1,000 points, and a special reward. Pellet, Destiny Changer grade, Super Divine description, raise the pubes' sea of consciousness by 1-fold. The user will be able to absorb the surrounding spiritual energy in a crazy manner for a short period of time, allowing the pubes' sea of consciousness to expand significantly. Ha ha ha. Long Fei was boiling. I finally succeeded. I finally succeeded. After a full month of desperately cultivating, he finally succeeded. Long Fei was incredibly excited in his heart. However, this was only the first step. He was at the 9th stage of the immortal stage to succeed, but the elders of the drug races were not at such a high realm. How could he control them? After success was improvement. It was inevitable that the Destiny Changer would cause a sensation, but how could it be improved? This was the most crucial point. Chapter 900 Teach this kid a lesson. Chapter 900 Teach this kid a lesson. For 2 consecutive days, Long Fei kept pondering about this question. However, in the end, he still could not think of a way to improve the Destiny Changer. Furthermore, the success rate of refining a Destiny Changer was only 60%, which was already a very high success rate for a super holy plea. But for Long Fei, it still wasn't enough. What he needed was a 100% success rate. Tonight is the last night. I must find a solution. Long Fei took out the spirit grasses and examined them. Each of the spirit grasses' attributes were once again understood in detail. This was his last night. He had to master the plan to improve it. Deep in the night, in a valley in the middle of the Divine Emperor Mountain. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 figures broke through the air. Their figures were like a gust of wind that blew past. The sounds were extremely soft, and even the people with good senses wouldn't be able to tell them apart. 2 experts. Super experts were shuttling quickly through the forest. To others, they might not be able to sense their movements. However, for the Supreme Goddess in Outer Space Palace, their speed and aura were completely exposed. Beside him stood a reporting elder, 19. From the Great Void Mirror, he saw 2 figures shuttling through it. 19's eyebrows tightened and said, "Supreme God, do you want to stop them?" Supreme God laughed coldly and said, "No need. The people of the Pan family are here to deal with Qiu Wandao and the others. As long as Long Fei is fine, we don't need to bother with other matters." He didn't care about the lives of others. As long as nothing happened to Long Fei, everything was fine. As for the people around Long Fei, it was unimportant. The Supreme God said disdainfully, "With just you, Long Fei, to build a new college of martial arts training, you just so happen to have Pan family's people take action against your people, which can be considered a lesson to you." Long Fei was very arrogant. Sometimes, being overly arrogant made him, the Supreme God, extremely unhappy. If not for the fact that Long Fei was the only candidate to become Open Dragon Domain, he would have been unable to endure it any longer. Seeing that Pan family was about to attack Qiu Wandao again, Supreme God did not have any intentions of stopping him and was instead very happy. It's time to teach him a lesson. Letting you find the Dragon Domain is not asking you to develop your own power and go against me. Humph. Long Zhanting failed to establish the College of Martial Arts Training. Do you think I will let you succeed? The God Emperor Academy said disdainfully. The God Emperor Academy was an accessory to the Outer Space Palace. He was also a subordinate of the Supreme God, so he wouldn't tolerate any power that opposed him getting stronger. Long Fei wanted to establish a college of martial arts training? Absolutely not. Just like how Long Zhanting had established the College of Martial Arts Training back then, he had only suppressed Qiu Wandao slightly and his body was no longer complete, as he killed him in the cradle. Supreme God slightly said, "Tomorrow, as long as you can guarantee Long Fei's safety, as long as he doesn't die, it's fine to sustain some injuries. This can also be considered a lesson for him." 19 nodded. "I understand. Then when those people become elders?" The Supreme God sneered, and said, "You don't have to care about them, they are all supporting the Pan family. This is also good, using the Pan family's power to help Long Fei clear his mind, letting him know that he is nothing in this world without my protection." Long Fei's breakthrough speed was indeed fast. His cultivation was indeed not weak. There had never been a powerhouse with a cultivation at the 8th stage of the virtual immortals that could defeat a blood immortal stage in the history of the gods' martial continent. However, no matter how strong Long Fei was, he would definitely lose the academy competition this time. There was no chance at all. 18 Great Matrial Halls was being controlled by Pan family, and it was rated as being controlled by Pan family. Now, even Supreme God had to borrow the strength of Pan family to suppress Long Fei. How did Long Fei win? It was impossible to win. 19 nodded and said heavily, "Yes, disciple. Remember, we can't let Long Fei win. I don't want to see him win 3 rounds of the Super Divine Evaluation, and I don't want to see him establish the College of Martial Arts Training." "Yes, sir." Boom. Boom. With 2 loud bangs, Qiu Wandao and Elderly in Green were pushed back. An old man weakened, and laughed coldly. Was the previous dean also so weak? The old man was very strong. His aura was at the Yuanxian realm, and his aura completely crushed Qiu Wandao and Yu Yang. Qiu Wandao frowned. "It's that Pan family's dog again. You're courting death." The old man was enraged, his steps were like lightning as he arrogantly rushed out. A powerful pressure was like a ferocious beast, crushing towards the 2 of them. Qiu Wandao coldly snorted, "I will be stomped once by you, I definitely won't be stomped twice." Buzz. The strange power in his body moved, breaking and forming a power. Elderly in Green was the same. Both of them were at the peak of the Golden Immortal Realm. Although they were not as powerful as Yuanxian, the energy in their bodies was extremely ferocious. The 2 of them charged forward. Boom, 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 boom. The courtyard was filled with the sound of explosions, and the beating could not be undone. Compared to a few months ago, Qiu Wandao's cultivation had increased too much. The Pan family was unable to hold on for very long, and his face was filled with shock. He was not faking it, but he was truly unable to withstand the pincer attack from the 2 of them. He fought as he retreated. Suddenly, rumble. A muffled sound came from the depths of the courtyard. Qiu Wandao's face changed, luring the tiger out of its lair. "This is bad. Ah! Ah!" Consecutive miserable cries came out. Qiu Wandao's expression became anxious as he said, "Something has happened. Old ghost, you block him, I'll go back and support him." The elder from Pan family laughed proudly. "You want to leave? Ha ha ha. You're thinking too much. I'm afraid they're all dead now. It'll be your turn soon. Pan family laughed out loud in satisfaction. As long as the other powerhouse succeeded and took down Qiu Wandao and the other two, it would be more than enough to kill the both of them. Thus, he did not allow Qiu Wandao to go back and support them, as he crazily shook the two of them. Rumble. The courtyard crumbled and turned into ruins. The Pan family started laughing complacently. Ha ha ha. They are finished. What arrogant dragon squad. They have become a dead dragon squad. Ha ha ha. A powerhouse of the Yuanxian realm. Under this kind of situation, Chen Tianfei and the others basically had no chance of surviving. Even if he was still alive, he would be seriously injured or even crippled. There was no other possibility. Qiu Wandao's heart was in a frenzy, his killing intent soared to the skies as he crazily rushed back. Pan family, this old man will never let you go. Ha ha ha. Qiu Wandao, you don't even have the qualifications to fight against my Pan family. And the Long Fei you were protecting, he is just an ant. He did not move for such a long period of time, he just wants to crush him in front of the academy competition, in front of the entire God Emperor Academy, in front of everyone. He wants to use his profile picture to announce the return of our sky-separating clan's Pan family. At this moment, he was not finished. A loud sound came from the ruins and an afterimage was thrown out. Bam! Phut! The afterimage was not that of anyone else, but the elder from Pan family, who had been blasted half to death. Chapter 901, Crippling Arrogant Dragon Squad. Chapter 901, Crippling Arrogant Dragon Squad. The great elder of the Pan family, the super powerhouse of the fitted realm, had actually been reduced to half dead. The other Pan family ranker thought that he was seeing things and was shocked when he confirmed that it was his fourth brother. Boom. His figure became a blur and landed heavily, supporting him up. Seeing his pale face and blood spurting out from his ruptured chest, the Pan family elder clenched his fists, seething with anger. Second brother, quick, let's go. There's an expert. He was well aware of his own strength and his own defensive capabilities. With his godly armor, he struck out from the ground with his palm, breaking the ribs on his chest. If it weren't for the godly armor, he would already be dead. Powerhouse would usually be able to react in an instant. The Pan family held fourth brother, looked at Qiu Wandao, and said, "This is not over." Whoosh! He jumped into the air, turned around, and disappeared into the forest. Elderly in green shouted angrily, "You want to leave? Let's see where you can go." He really wanted to chase after him, but was stopped by Qiu Wandao, who said, "Save her first." With the fitted realm's cultivation level, even if they wanted to chase after it, it would be difficult, and what was happening below, what was happening to Chen Tianfei and the rest, was the main point. Boom! The ground suddenly caved in, revealing a deep pit. Ha ha ha! A burst of wild laughter came out from the deep pit. It was the unique wild laughter of the devils in the Fat Men Chen, and it was filled with disdain. The fitted realm is very powerful, right? King B TCH, go ahead and show lousy what you can do. I'll blast you to death if you don't do that. Qiu Wandao and elderly in green quickly ran to the edge of the deep pit, looking at the 7 people standing in the huge pit, 7 of them with firm expressions and ferocious auras. Chen Tianfei, Man Tuoluo, Xiao Ying, Dao Feng, Han Xueji, Wang Qingshan, Zheng Qingsong. 7 people who had been in closed-door training for 2 months. Everyone felt as if they had become a completely different person. The aura on their body was completely different. These 2 months of closed-door training were like a magnificent transformation. The world had changed. Qiu Wandao looked at the 7 of them and asked in astonishment, "Was it you who blasted that powerhouse out just now?" Man Tuoluo did not answer. Instead, he asked a question, "Have they left?" Elderly in green laughed excitedly. "They left. They just ran away like T. They are too pathetic." It was also at this time. Plop, plop. After a few consecutive sounds, Chen Tianfei's body became weak and fell onto the ground. Dao Feng, Wang Qingshan, Xiao Ying and the others were all the same. It was as if he had collapsed. Phut! Because he was laughing so intensely just now, Chen Tianfei could no longer suppress it and spat out a mouthful of blood, his face turning extremely pale. Qiu Wandao's expression darkened. He immediately jumped down the deep pit, and quickly took out a few healing pellets for each of them to consume, and asked, "What exactly happened? What happened to you?" Man Tuoluo weakly explained, "That palm strike earlier gathered all of the power of the 7 of us, and only then was that powerhouse sent flying. That kind of power surpasses ourselves, and will also backlash upon us. We simply cannot endure it. The power of 7 people. The power of the 7 of them combined to form an extremely strong palm technique, which could only send the Pan family flying. However, this kind of palm technique was like the 7 injury fist. It could injure others and also injure oneself. Compared to the Pan family elder, the 7 of them were slightly more severely injured. Especially Chen Tianfei. However, even though Fat Man Chen was weak, he was incomparably excited. Ha ha ha. To be able to send a super powerhouse of the fitted realm flying, we are simply too awesome. That uncle's teachings are really sharp. He was very excited. He was abnormally excited, and his excitement made the other 6 people excited as well. The powerhouse of the fitted realm, there was not a single person in the entire God Emperor Academy. Qiu Wandao was even more confused. That uncle? Could it be that other than us, there are other people training you? Also, how did you all gather the power of 7 people to form a palm technique and release it? It was hard to understand. At least, Qiu Wandao had never heard of this kind of palm technique. Gathering the power of 7 virtual immortals stage S and defeating the powerhouse S of the fitted realm, this kind of palm technique was too terrifying. Even if there were 100 of them, 1,000 virtual immortal stage warriors would not be enough to kill all of them. He was extremely afraid. He was pissing his pants. Chen Tianfei was startled, and said, "You don't know? There's an uncle who has been guiding us all this time, and he even has a set of palm techniques for us." "What is the name of this set of palm techniques?" Daofeng said, "God Binding Palm." "Yes. It's called the God Binding Palm. We've only practiced this kind of palm technique for 3 days, but I never would have thought that it would actually reach this level. It's too amazing." Fat Man Chen was extremely excited. Han Shueji said, "It is powerful, but it is also extremely powerful for us. Tomorrow is the Academy's competition. We are all heavily injured. How are we to participate in the competition?" As soon as she finished speaking, everyone fell silent. The super powerhouse who defeated the Pan family was indeed impressive, but what about tomorrow? Tomorrow is the Academy competition. How can he compete? Qiu Wandao was still muttering in his heart, "God Binding Palm? That uncle, could it be? Is it the old master? Impossible, right? The old master is obviously in closed-door cultivation. Could it be that he has already come out?" Qiu Wandao was secretly shocked. He seemed to be sure that the person who taught them the palm art was the old master. And also Long Fei's father. Long Zhanting. Qiu Wandao was overwhelmed with shock, and at the same time, he looked towards the elderly in green. He had the same thought. Their hearts were boiling with excitement. They did not know where the old master had been cultivating, so they were certain that the person who had helped Chen Tianfei was the old master. Boom! Long Fei rushed over. Seeing that the small courtyard had turned into ruins, the rage in his heart surged. He rushed to Qiu Wandao's side and asked, "What happened?" When he heard the sound coming from the mountainside, Long Fei had instantly rushed over. Looking at the fatty and the others in the deep pit, he became angry. "They are from the Pan family again? F***ck. Long Fei scolded angrily, "I'm asterisk asterisk." Qiu Wandao took a glance at elderly in green, his gaze communicated for a while, and then he said, "Long Fei, don't be angry, the Academy's competition is tomorrow, you must enter it with all your heart and soul." "Boss, we're fine. Just now, we sent a super powerhouse flying. The scene was too cool, it's a pity you didn't see it," Chen Tianfei said excitedly. Elderly in green furrowed his brows, and said slightly, "But what about tomorrow? Long Fei wants to participate in 2 matches at the same time. According to Ouyang Zhon and the others' personalities, team competition and alchemy matches will definitely be held at the same time. What should he do?" Chapter 902 Heavy Suppression. Chapter 902 Heavy Suppression. In the past school's tournament, Every tournament had a fixed time limit. Even if you participated in all of them, there wouldn't be any overlap in time. However, this year was different. The 18 great matrial halls discussed and changed the Academy's way of competing in the past. Moreover, the point was, there were no changes to the other matches, only the team ranking, alchemy and individual battles. The 3 major competitions would be held at the same time. There was no doubt that this was clearly aimed at Long Fei. It was aimed at him. Right now, Chen Tianfei and his group of 7 were severely injured, and it would take them 1 or 2 days to fully recover. In other words, only Long Fei, Song Qianxian, Ling Long and the others were not injured in the arrogant dragon squad. How could the team competition be compared? Comparable? Basically impossible. Chen Tianfei was severely injured, Dao Feng was severely injured, Wang Qingshan and Jing Qingsong were both heavily injured. Amongst the 7 of them, only the 3 of them were slightly injured. However, if Chen Tianfei and the other 3 were unable to enter the stage due to their injuries, then Long Fei's plan would have all been thrown into chaos. Chen Tianfei's defense, Dao Feng's breakthrough, Wang Qingshan's sword technique, and Zheng Qingsong's array formation, these were all essential to Long Fei's plan. This time, Long Fei acted as if he had lost a hand. If the team competition lost, then he wouldn't be able to get 3 stages of the Super Divine score, and thus wouldn't be able to get 5,000, thus he wouldn't be able to establish a new college of martial arts training. Pan family's move was extremely vicious, and directly stabbed at Long Fei's fatal point. At the same time, it also made Long Fei extremely unhappy. He clenched his fists tightly, and the killing intent in his heart became even stronger. Chen Tianfei forcibly stood up and said, "Boss, I'm fine, I can still fight." Before he could finish his words, his body swayed unsteadily. If not for him supporting himself against the wall, he would have already fallen to the ground. How could he continue fighting like this? Chen Tianfei was very important. He was Long Fei's strongest defense, a super tank. He had originally wanted Fat Man Chen to lead the whole team, but now it seemed that it wouldn't work. And then, Long Fei immediately made a decision and said, "The Academy's large competition will only be completed in 3 days. I don't need you to go on stage for the first 2 days. You have 2 days to recover." Finished. Long Fei took out a bottle of medicinal pellets and said, "These are the pellets that I have refined during this period of time. There are a total of 10 of them. 1 for each of you. This will allow your pubes' sea of consciousness to grow wider, helping you to cultivate and recover. Presbyter Chiu, you guys take it as well. It's good for you guys." Chiu Wandao was slightly surprised for a moment, and said, "With our current realm, medicinal pellets are no longer of use to us. Using pills to cultivate was something that was needed for a basic level. With their current cultivation level, normal pills wouldn't be able to help them at all." Long Fei smiled slightly, and said, "You'll know once you've consumed it. I'll have to trouble the 2 of you to take care of Fat Men Chen. Xiao Ying, Man Tualuo, Senior Sister Han, let's go." The 3 of them jumped out of the deep pit. Long Fei looked at Fat Men Chen's envious eyes and said, "If you can't recover within 2 days, you think about it yourself." Fat Men Chen clenched his fists and said, "Boss, don't worry. In 2 days' time, I will definitely let you see a different fatty." As he spoke, Fat Men Chen said to Chiu Wandao, "Presbyter Chiu, hurry up and teach us how to recover. I can't wait." "What did you say?" "Chiu Wandao's residence is a trap." "Fourth uncle, are you sure you didn't see wrongly?" Pan Zhon's mind shook. Seeing Fourth Uncle Pan use paleface with blood hanging from the corner of his mouth, he was extremely shocked in his heart. If the Fitted Realm's powerhouse was this powerful, then how strong was the opponent? Pan Yu frowned and said, "Do you still doubt my eyes?" Pan Zhon immediately replied, "Nephew would not dare." Humph. It wasn't that he was angry at Pan Zhon, but he was displeased. He said, "I didn't think that a trash from the Nantian region would actually be able to find such a powerful expert to help. Furthermore, we don't even know who he is." He did not see clearly who had injured him. He also didn't see clearly how many people it was. He only saw an incomparably powerful palm attack coming towards him. His palms met it, but he was sent flying before he could even react. The power circulated in his mind, terrifying to the extreme. Pan Zhong frowned, he could not help but clench his fists, and muttered to himself, "Looks like I must not give this brat another chance. This time, the dead zone will completely uproot him." Of course, Pan Zhong's killing intent was already firm. Pan Zhong said respectfully, "Fourth uncle, it's been hard on you this time. Rest well, I will take care of the rest of the matters. I will make Long Fei pay for it." And then, Pan Zhong left quickly. Since he had the help of the superpower house, he had to make some equipment as well. Palace Question of God, the Great Void Mirror. The four main forces were severely injured, and the arrogant dragon squad is basically crippled. Long Fei, how are you going to get first place in team competition? How do we get a super divine rating? Ha ha ha. The Supreme God did not want to see Long Fei become too strong, nor did he want to see Long Fei cultivate his own strength. Supreme God looked at the disciple beside him, and said lightly, "Pan Sheng, you cannot be like him." Disobedient Pan Sheng immediately replied, "This disciple doesn't dare." "It's good that you don't dare." Supreme God laughed and said, "You can go down the mountain after another year of cultivation. You are Devil Slayer, you should help God's martial continent kill the demons and bear a heavy burden, understand?" Pan Sheng replied, "Disciple understands." Supreme God smiled faintly, and said, "All right, you can go cultivate now." Pan Sheng immediately retreated, his heart secretly moved. Why does Master want me to see the thing inside the Great Void Mirror? Could it be he is no longer protecting Long Fei? If that's the case. The corner of Pan Sheng's mouth hooked up in excitement. "Long Fei, I won't be playing with you this time around." And then he quickly returned to his dwelling and sent someone to deliver a letter to the Pan family. Arrogant Dragon Squad's main force being thwarted, there was no need to worry anymore, it was enough to ruthlessly crush them. Moreover, he wanted everyone in Arrogant Dragon Squad to die in the stage. How great is it to investigate the secrets of the Dragon Domain for me? Why must you participate in some large competition to create a new college of martial arts training? Supreme God laughed coldly. He did not give Long Zhanting the chance to rise. When he found out that Long Zhanting was unable to control the open dragon domain, he mercilessly attacked him and pushed him into the bottomless abyss. To him, Long Fei was his last chance. Although he did not want to control Long Fei the way he controlled Long Zhanting, he also did not want Long Fei's power to grow. Because the Supreme God knew very well that the people of the Long family had a unique power that could make people want to die together. He would definitely not allow Long Fei's power to grow. Chapter 903, The College Large Competition. Chapter 903, The College Large Competition. Swish. Rumble. Early in the morning, a sky-piercing cannon exploded in the air above the God Emperor. This was a sacrifice to the heavens. The principal of 18 great matrial halls, the elders, and a group of elite disciples kneeled down and kowtowed under the altar, begging the heavens to release even denser amounts of spirit energy. Begging the heavens to let the gods' martial continent be at peace and harmony. Begging the heavens would allow each of them to break through the shackles, break through the gods' martial continent's power of law, and enter a stronger domain. In Long Fei's opinion, asking for help was better than asking for help. Beg. On the path of cultivation, no one would give charity to anyone. They would only rely on going against the heavens and using their own strength to change their own fate. This was very fair to everyone. The ceremony ended. And then, largest martial arts training ground, the 16 great entrances, were opened wide. Other than the people from God Emperor Academy, there were also some rich and powerful people, nobles, and observing groups from the other realms who had spent a lot of money. They were the sponsors of the Academy's competition, and each of the consortia had to spend thousands of fairy stones in order to qualify to enter the God Emperor Academy. The Pan family was naturally one of them. Outside of Pan family, Fu Shishan spent 3,000 fairy stones to buy a spot for the observation team as he brought Black Knife and the others to enter the God Emperor Academy. What a powerful aura. There's more than one, there's so many of them. Father, there's a great expert here. Yuna was very happy, because she had never been to the God Emperor city before, nor had she simultaneously sensed so many powerhouses. She was surprised. However, her expression was not very happy, because she did not sense Long Fei's aura. Dao Ba also muttered, "Why didn't we see our boss come out?" Fu Shishan explained, "The one who has appeared now is the 18 generations of College of Martial Arts training, and he is also the ranking for the previous tournament's strength. Long Fei is also a service disciple, and he doesn't have a ranking either, so he should be the last one to appear." The Heishan laughed out loud and said, "The boss is the boss, the last one to step up, it's the finale." Many bandits laughed. The surrounding crowd burst into a series of mocking laughs. "Country bumpkin, I don't know anything. I don't know where this trash came from. He doesn't even know the most basic things. The stronger one is, the higher the ranking. In the end, the ones that come out are some trash. You don't even know this yet you're watching the God Emperor Academy tournament. Get the hell back home and drink some milk." Dao Ba was not in a good mood. The aura of a fugitive burst out from his body. He stared at one person and his eyes darkened. "Try saying another word, I will kill you." "Not at all. It's fine to say him, but not if his boss, Long Fei, is a trash." As soon as Dao Ba finished his words, Heishan, Baldy, One-Eyed, and the other robust men all looked at him at the same time. That person's body shrunk like a tortoise shrinking its head inside, not even daring to let out a fart. Among these observation teams, there were many financial groups and families that came to the God Emperor Academy for only one purpose, which was to find the students of the God Emperor Academy that were about to graduate. Just like in the talent market, they were here to recruit. If a few disciples of God Emperor Academy could join, their power and influence would increase greatly. To their families, this would be a great resource for them, but they would also have a close relationship with the God Emperor Academy. It would be even more worth it. The disciples of the Green Dragon Matrial Hall have appeared. A door to the martial arts practice hall opened. Azure Dragon School. This was a gate specially set up for the Green Dragon Matrial Hall. Only the disciples of the Green Dragon Matrial Hall could go in and out of this place. It was the honor of their Green Dragon Matrial Hall. Ouyang Zhon walked at the front with Ouyang Jian following behind him. He had fully recovered from his injuries and his cultivation was even stronger than it was 1 month ago. Behind them were 2 large battle squads. A reassembled team. The first team was the Green Dragon Troopers, the number 1 team, and this team had 2 identical people. Twins. The identical twins, the kind you can hardly tell apart. The moment they appeared, Yuna muttered to herself in a low voice, "Demonic Chi, our God Emperor Academy also retracting people from the infernal domain?" Her ability was very special. No matter how well one hides one's aura, even if one turns into a sloughing demon or turns into a human, she would still be able to sense that subtle aura. No one heard her. Because the surrounding people were cheering for the people of Green Dragon Matrial Hall. Do you see this? This is the first squad's Green Dragon Troopers. They are all in the Blood Immortal realm, and each one of them is a terrifying existence. I heard that the Green Dragon Troopers' fighting strength has already exceeded 50,000 points, and all of the individuals' fighting strength is above 20,000 points. This is something that only exists in the history of the God Emperor Academy. Green Dragon Matrial Hall is indeed worthy of being God Emperor Academy's number 1 college of martial arts training. His an existence that no one can defeat this time. This is all because the principal of the Green Dragon Matrial Hall, Ouyang Zhon, is powerful. Other than these, they are all monstrous geniuses with extraordinary talent. The weakest among them are all upper rank Bloodvein, and many of them are divine ranked Bloodvein. Who's going to be the opponent of a team formed by all these monstrous geniuses? The White Tiger Kung Fu tribe has appeared. Blood Skeleton Battle Team. Wow, what a strong aura. This year's Blood Skeleton will charge into the top 3. After the White Tiger was the Vermilion Bird. The Black Turtle was here. The reason why the 4 Matrial Halls S had appeared was because they had their own independent gate. This was because they were the 4 Matrial Halls, the strongest among all the 4 Matrial Halls S College of War Martial Arts who followed suit. The remaining 14 College of Martial Arts Training S walked into the arena one by one. It was like an entrance ceremony for a sports meet, and each time they appeared, it would attract countless screams. Especially some of the star-level powerhouse S, 18 Great Matrial Halls, 18 arrays. The last phalanx to appear is The host purposely paused. Everyone in the field started whispering to each other, "Isn't God Emperor Academy the only one? Why is there a square formation? Could it be the law enforcement agency? That's not right. Disciples of the law enforcement agency are not allowed to participate in any competitions." Who could it be? Everyone was looking at the martial arts arena's entrance. The last one to appear is a disciple of the logistics department. The moment the host finished his sentence, the audience was stunned, then all of them burst out laughing, "Ha ha ha. And there's still the logistics department formation? Ha ha ha. Are they here to compete and clean up? I'm dying of laughter. Why would a service disciple participate in the large competition? Do they think it's a sweep?" Many people were laughing at him. Yuna asked softly, "Father, why do these people mock Big Brother Long Fei?" Yuna doesn't like them. The faces of Fu Shishan and the rest were all filled with rage, especially Dao Ba and the rest, who all stood up and started to curse, but their voices were completely swallowed by the voices of the tens of thousands of people. In another place, Xiao Ying was not convinced. "Why not let us in?" The gatekeeping disciple sneered, "Because you do not have the qualifications to enter through this door." Xiao Ying said angrily, "I'll let you know what qualifications are." Chapter 904, Pull Up the Wind. Chapter 904, Pull Up the Wind. All of them passed through this door, so why were they not qualified to go through here? Xiao Ying could not tolerate such an unfair treatment. Just as Xiao Ying was about to make a move, he was stopped by Long Fei. "Let's change into a normal gate and enter." The gatekeeper revealed a cold smile. "If you had made a move on me just now, none of you would have participated in the large competition. Brat, at least you're sensible." Humph. A mere gatekeeping disciple dared to be so arrogant, and he also disdained Long Fei's group. This made Long Fei and the others suppress a ball of anger in their hearts. Long Fei did not care about what, but smiled faintly. "Let's go." Xiao Ying was unconvinced. "Young Master Long, on what basis? This kind of person is just trying to get rid of him." Xiao Ying's temper had always been very bad. Long Fei said, "If a dog bites you, if you go up and bite a dog, wouldn't that also turn into a dog? You don't have to do anything to deal with this kind of person. Once we take first place, he'll kneel in front of you." Long Fei slightly smiled, not putting the guards in his eyes at all. "Where are the disciples of the logistics department? Why didn't he come out? He admitted defeat before even entering the arena. Don't not appear if you admit defeat. They still have to clean up the training grounds," the host said with a laugh. His words attracted the ridicule from the surrounding disciples and all the onlookers. A good service disciple should not have come to participate in the large competition. Isn't that courting death? A sparrow flying on a tree branch will always be a sparrow, it won't become a phoenix. Moreover, it might fall to its death if it flies too high. He really thinks highly of himself. Amidst the crowd's mocking laughter, Long Fei brought Aoya, Song Chanxian, Man Tuoluo, Xiao Ying, Han Shueji, Ling Long, Sun Da, Fan Tong and the rest to enter the training grounds. At this moment, the entire martial arts practice field slowly quieted down. They did not look at Xiong Longfei, but instead at the women behind Long Fei. They were all peerless beauties with beauty that could topple nations. Moreover, Song Chanxian took off the veil on her face. She is the mysterious woman who was ranked first in the God Emperor Academy's beauty rankings. This is the woman who has only appeared once in God Emperor Academy. Oh God, they're all beauties, they're all people on the beauties list. Goddess Oya. It's Goddess Oya. Isn't that our Elixir Martial Arts Branch's little courtyard, Flower Linglong junior sister? Why did she also join the logistics department? Man Tuoluo from the Spirit Poison Hall. War God College of Martial Arts Training's little chilly Xiao Ying. They were all beautiful women. Moreover, when Long Fei and the others walked to the center of the training grounds, Song Chanxian took the initiative to step forward and hold Long Fei's arm. Aoya walked forward and held Long Fei's other arm. At this moment, Han Shueji, Man Tuoluo, Xiao Ying, and Ling Long all walked forward to stand next to Long Fei, looking charming, as though they were young women. The entire training field seemed to explode. Their group attack damage instantly broke through 100 million points. Even the cabbages have been eaten by a pig. Oh God, aren't you going to open your eyes and take a look? Who does he think he is? So many beauties like a man. If I were him, I would be willing to reduce my lifespan by 10 years. 20 years. I'm so envious. Long Fei was also slightly shocked. He did not think that Song Qianqian and the others could be this relaxed. The rhythm of flying. Song Qianqian smiled and whispered, Long Fei, don't we have enough face? Aoya followed up, Sister Qian Qian, aren't you letting him off too easily? Man Tuoluo said, on the account of the destiny changer, let's support him today. In the future, if he wants to continue like this, it will depend on his performance. Xiao Ying muttered, he's a scoundrel. The women chattered a lot. 3 women for each act, and the 6 women were able to directly act out a TV show. Long Fei said, about that, since you guys can let it go, why don't we roll in the bed together tonight? You wish. Young Master Long, you're really overthinking it. Hiss. Ah. Long Fei felt his arm being raised up. It was so painful that he let out a miserable scream. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Do we have to fight? It hurts. But to the people around, Long Fei's expression was incomparably envious. These women made everyone jealous of Long Fei. At the same time, they made everyone hate him. Dao Ba excitedly laughed. The boss is the boss, he is not a normal martial artist. Fu Shishan's eyes grew cold as a hint of jealousy surfaced in his eyes. It's been a few days already and he already has so many female friends by his side. If I were to give him a few more years, wouldn't he be taking in all the beauties in the entire continent? Yuna giggled and said, Daddy, Big Brother Long Fei's cultivation has become stronger again, so much stronger. The Black Knife sensed it and said lightly, the people from Long family are indeed extraordinary. Long Fei's appearance, surrounded by beautiful women, was incomparably eye-catching. She directly overshadowed all of the College of Martial Arts training's scenery, making the people of 18 Matrial Halls extremely unhappy. Especially Ouyang Jian from the Green Dragon Matrial Hall. He stared at Long Fei, and his eyes were about to spew fire. He wanted nothing more than to tear Long Fei into pieces, to vent the anger in his heart. Brat, just you wait, today I will make you die on the stage. Ouyang Zhon looked at Long Fei coldly, and said disdainfully, clown. At this time, a disciple whispered into his ear. Ouyang Zhon frowned. He was secretly happy to think that they did not come. Qiu Wandao, are you afraid too? Hee hee. This is even better. Long Fei, today is the day you die. Qiu Wandao and Elderly in Green did not appear. This made Ouyang Zhon even more at ease. Using the 18 Matrial Halls' power to deal with Long Fei and the few women was too simple. An instant kill. The host shouted, the people of the logistics department, please take your seats as soon as possible. The competition is about to begin. There were 18 square arrays on the 18 Matrial Halls, there were no extra places. Moreover, the martial arts practice grounds was packed with people. There was no place to sit down. Although Long Fei did not bring many people, no one gave up their spot for him. Long Fei asked slightly, where are we at? The host pointed at a corner and said, in that corner. Following his gaze, Xiao Ying was instantly enraged. This time, Song Qianqian was also furious, and said, how is that a trash place? Not waiting for her to finish. The host sneered, and said, aren't you logistics department's disciples? Shouldn't you be standing with trash? We can either leave the competition together with the trash, or withdraw. Don't waste our time. The host shouted, not giving Long Fei and the others a chance to choose. Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei, and Long Fei clenched his teeth. I'll endure it. Chapter 905 I decided to kill them. Chapter 905 I decided to kill them ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Seeing Long Fei and the others who were standing beside the trash, the people from 18 Matrial Halls laughed loudly. Trash is trash. Trash and trash, absolutely worthy. Fighting with our 18 Matrial Halls is only the beginning. You will be in trouble from now on. You overestimate yourself. You want to challenge the 18 Matrial Halls? Let's see how we'll kill you today. Many of the senior disciples who had just come out of seclusion heard that Long Fei was challenging the 18 matrial halls and became more and more furious. From the entrance to the trash heap, it was always aimed at Long Fei. Unfair treatment? Not at all, because there was nothing fair to them. Long Fei suppressed a stomach full of anger, his heart was extremely unhappy, and the hearts of everyone around him were extremely unhappy. The disciples of the 18 matrial halls were waiting for the competition to begin, and it was the same for Long Fei and the rest. Yuna seemed to have sensed the anger surging inside Long Fei's body, and she said faintly, "Father, how can God Emperor Academy treat Big Brother Long Fei in such a way? Big Brother Long Fei's killing intent in his heart is very strong." The black knife lightly patted Yuna's shoulder and said, "Yuna, Long Fei will use his fist to prove everything." Yuna giggled and said, "Yuna believes in Big Brother Long Fei." At this moment, the sky darkened and thick clouds split apart. It was as if the gates of heaven had opened. 8 golden figures descended from the sky like gods descending from heaven. It was incomparably mighty. The host excitedly said, "Welcome to Palace Question of God's referee team." At this time, everyone in the 18 matrial halls stood up. The 8 elders that descended from the sky were all peak golden immortal realm and powerhouse S of the fitted realm. The auras on their bodies were different from the auras of ordinary golden immortal peak realm S, their auras were even denser. Ouyang took a step forward, and said respectfully, to the fairy hall elder. The 8 of them landed one after another, each one of them carrying a haughty look. In their eyes, whether it was the God Emperor Academy, or the foreigners, they were all mortals, and they were all gods. In the eyes of God, mortals were but ants. At this moment, Aoya's body suddenly trembled. A strong killing intent was suddenly released from her body. The killing thought that Long Fei was cultivating instantly sensed it. Following Aoya's gaze, Long Fei saw a 50-year-old fairy hall elder, and thought to himself, "Is that him?" And then, Long Fei gently held Aoya's trembling hand and said softly, "Don't be afraid, leave everything to me." Aoya looked at Long Fei and said, "I'm not afraid, I'm just excited. I want to avenge my father and mother." Long Fei slightly said, "Rest assured, I will give you a chance." There was no escape from this mission. It was finally time. Long Fei was also getting impatient. After the Sword Force King Kong was the arrogant Knife King Kong, the Black Knife Uncle. Only the Ahat King Kong remained in 8 King Kong. The 8 elders of Hall of Immortals took their seats, led by an elder, and said, "Don't waste time, let's begin quickly." The host immediately said, "This year's competition is different from the previous years. Because we have to save Fairy Hall elders time, the tournament and alchemy competition will proceed at the same time." The battle list appears on the Blackstone's big screen. As soon as he finished, many people started discussing. Ouyang looked at Long Fei and laughed in his heart. "Long family, did you not anticipate this, that there would be 2 more matches you would like to participate in? I want to see how you do it." Long Fei laughed coldly and said, as expected. Song Qianqian's brows tightened, and said, "This is entirely aimed at you." Long Fei said, "It doesn't matter, this kind of competition is only the first 1 or 2. There's no need to worry about it if the sequence is chaotic later on, and today is only 8 matches. Do as I say. You will be the leader. You will carry out my orders according to my tactics." Long Fei slightly said. Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and said, "Is there no change?" Xiao Ying also looked at Long Fei and said, "Young Master Long, since they are targeting you like this, shouldn't we change something?" Han Shueji, Ling Long, Man Tuoluo also looked at Long Fei. Long Fei said, "What changes do you all want to make?" Xiao Ying said straightforwardly. At least crippled Song Qianqian became even more overbearing. "If I had asked them, I would have directly made them kneel on the stage and sing conquer." Long Fei was stunned. One was more powerful than the other, and the other was more violent. "However, you made me feel bad, then I will make your entire family feel bad." Long Fei's lips curled up as he said, "All right, let them kneel on the stage and sing a song of conquest." These girls were truly domineering. Long Fei had to admire her. And then, a huge battle list appeared on the screen of the Blackstone. The first match. Arrogant Dragon Squad against Spirit Water Battle Team. Similarly, in the first round, the Alchemy Competition. Long Fei, against the College of Martial Arts Training's Yuan De. This kind of arrangement was to prevent time from running out, and it was to leave Long Fei no time to see how he would choose. Moreover, today, in the 8 matches, he entered the top 10. The matches tomorrow would also be held in the first round, at the same time. Long Fei had to make a choice and see what he could do. They wanted to fiercely target Long Fei. Please enter the stage, contestants. Arrogant Dragon Squad's people, please enter as soon as possible. The host said loudly. It was also at this time. The 5 members of the Spirit Water Battle Team flew out, all of them stepping onto the stage in an incomparably gorgeous manner, standing on the stage, looking at Long Fei and the others as they laughed coldly in disdain. Brat, come up and die. All of them were incomparably arrogant. Long Fei walked out. Song Qianqian, Man Tuoluo, Han Xueji, Xiao Ying, and Linglong followed behind Long Fei and walked out. Aoya said heavily, "Sisters, you can do it." She was an elder, so she couldn't participate. But to her, this large competition was also a chance for her to take revenge. It was also a competition. Long Fei walked towards the alchemy arena. Watching Long Fei walk towards the alchemy arena, the captain of the Spirit Water Battle Team mocked loudly, "Long family, what's wrong? Scared? Weren't you very arrogant before? Didn't you say that you could overturn the 18 great material halls? Come on. Why have you become a cowardly turtle? Trash from the Nantian region are trash. Letting a group of women fight on stage is truly a useless thing." He was ruthlessly mocking Long Fei. Long Fei suddenly stopped and said to Song Qianqian, "I've decided, we don't need them kneeling on the stage to sing about conquering, we'll directly kill them." Song Qianqian laughed faintly, and said, "That's exactly what I mean." Both of Xiao Ying's fists exploded, cracking sounds coming from his joints, and he said, "Then I'll blast it to my heart's content." In the stands. Observation Group, Pan Family's location. Pan Zhon looked at Long Fei coldly, and laughed. "Long Fei, slowly enjoy, it's starting." Chapter 906, Rushing Victory. Chapter 906, Rushing Victory. The first battle was Long Fei's Arrogant Dragon Squad. It was also the first battle of the alchemy competition. There were people from the 18 material halls who were repeating the same process, otherwise, they would have fought in all 3 matches simultaneously. Choose alchemy? Ouyang Zhon raised his brows, and sneered, "Since you choose the alchemy, then your arrogant dragon squad will stop here." The principal of the Spirit Water College of Martial Arts Training smiled and said, "A team formed by a group of female disciples was directly blasted to the ground. Long Fei seems to want to get a super divine rating. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Here's a joke." Many of the chairmen laughed out loud without restraint. Song Qianqian and the other 4 stepped onto the stage. Also at the same time, the boundary on the stage opened up. The boundary on the stage was a form of protection to prevent the energy from leaking out during battle, to prevent it from harming the innocent. 5 great beauties. Beauty, we don't want to destroy you. As long as you concede obediently and become our pair cultivation partner in front of the entire academy, we'll spare you. The captain of the Spirit Water Battle Team smiled proudly. Looking at Song Qianqian's group of 5, each one more lively than the last, he wished that he could push all of them onto the bed. Song Qianqian smiled slightly, "If you don't speak, you will still be alive. It is your stinky mouth that has harmed you." Xiao Ying said, "You and your team will all die on the stage." The captain of the Spirit Water Battle Team sneered in disdain and said, "You don't care about face? Brothers, don't be polite later, let's tear up their clothes first and let everyone see what the beauties on the list look like without clothes." Ha ha ha. Everyone laughed out loud. Song Qianqian's eyes turned sinister. At the same time, the host slightly said, "The first match of the team ranking competition, Arrogant Dragon Squad against the Spirit Water Battle Team, begin." As soon as he finished, the captain of the Spirit Water Battle Team revealed an evil lewd smile, "Little beauties, be good and tremble under our crotch, ha ha ha." However, without waiting for him to finish laughing, a cold, gloomy sword slashed across his neck. Immediately after, he felt a wave of coldness from deep within his heart. He gently touched it with his right hand and looked at the blood on his palm. His body slightly trembled as he said, This you. Putong. His body fell backwards, heavily crashing into the ground. Fresh blood spurted out from his neck. Song Qianqian's figure also descended, and fiercely said, Keep on shouting, why aren't you shouting anymore? One sword. Instant kill. The captain didn't even have time to react. To be more accurate, he didn't have the time to react at all. The entire martial arts arena could not react in time. The principal of the Spirit Water College of Martial Arts Training still had a complacent smile on his face. Looking at what was happening on the stage, his smile started to stiffen. And then, the face of the 18 Material Halls' principal also became ugly. Pan Zhon's eyes turned sinister. He snorted, Trash. Hualala. The entire audience was in an uproar. They all stood up and stretched out their necks to stare at the arena. Oh God, killing them in a single move. How fierce is this? This is too amazing. This female disciple is too overbearing. I couldn't see how she used her sword just now. What a complete mess. Countless people were shocked. Only one person was not shocked, Long Fei. What cultivation did Song Qianqian have? What was her strength? Long Fei was very clear that if she was angry, then one sword would be fatal, so the truth proved that he mustn't anger a woman, or else the consequences would be dire. Putong. Plop. The remaining members of the Spirit Water Battle Team all knelt on the ground. One of them was pale and trembling. Their strongest captain had been instantly killed, and their fighting spirit had also collapsed. They no longer had any fighting strength left. Xiao Ying took a step forward, and said, Sister Qian Qian, let them sing and conquer you. Sing together. Song Qianqian smiled, Good idea. All of you, listen carefully. I'll sing a line, and all of you sing a line with me. Do you understand? Song Qianqian laughed, her gaze looking at the position of the 18 Material Halls' square formation. I was conquered by you just like that. Sing for me. This was something that Long Fei had taught her. The 4 members of the Spirit Water Battle Team said in a low voice, Just like that, you've conquered. Louder, do you want to die? Xiao Ying's violent temper flared. The 4 immediately shouted with all their might, Just like that, I'll be conquered by you. Song Qianqian's gaze swept across the entire city, and said, If you want to mess with our arrogant dragon squad, come at me if you have the guts. I'll make each and every one of you kneel on the ground and sing a song of conquest. It was incomparably domineering. This made the people of 18 Material Halls extremely unhappy. Ouyang Zhon frowned, a sword was instantly killed. The 18 Material Halls' face has been completely thrown away by your Spirit Water College of Martial Arts Training. Immediately investigate the background of this female disciple. He knew nothing about Song Qianqian's background. Very few people in the entire God Emperor Academy knew about Song Qianqian, and this was also the reason why she rarely showed her face. The host unwillingly shouted out, Arrogant Dragon Squad wins, next round. Yay! Big Brother Long Fei's team won. Yuna jumped up in joy. Everyone smiled, but they were not as happy as they were now. Because this was only the first round, and the Spirit Water Battle Team was only cannon fodder. They only used it to test the Arrogant Dragon Squad's strength. Indeed. Originally, the 18 Material Halls was all around targeting Long Fei, but now, there seemed to be another target for him to target. Just as Song Qianqian and the others won the first round. Long Fei's alchemy competition had also ended. Very quickly, although it wasn't as fast as Song Qianqian's instant kill, it was still more or less the same. Long Fei wins. Let's move on to the next round. Everyone was paying attention to the team competition, so no one was paying attention to how Long Fei did it. All they heard was the judge saying, and then, the first round of alchemy competition ended. What's the situation? How did he win? Is alchemy really that fast? Just now, Long Fei was able to refine a 6th stage immortal stage pill. He did not even need to look to know that he had one. Grade 6 in immortal grade. Many people were shocked. Could he be an immortal pill master? We won. Boss won. Dao Ba became excited. He had been looking at Long Fei the entire time. He knew that Long Fei was an alchemy master, but he never thought that his alchemy would be this strong. That wasn't a lie. Yuna's eyes might really be able to heal them. Yuna laughed very happily, and said, "Big brother Long Fei is so powerful, to be able to completely crush you in just the first match. Arrogant Dragon Squad is so powerful, we can totally crush him." Amongst the observing groups, Pan Zhon's eyes narrowed, and said coldly, "Long Fei, don't get cocky too early, this is only the beginning." Chapter 907 Linglong's Explosion. Chapter 907 Linglong's Explosion. Both were victorious in their first matches. A crushing victory. Long Fei returned to the group and said excitedly, "Amazing." Xiao Ying giggled, "I haven't even made my move yet, Sister Qian Qian is too powerful." Song Qianqian said, "The main thing is that I can't endure it any longer." Long Fei said, "You revealed yourself too early, the following battle will be difficult to deal with, but according to my strategy, everything should be fine." He believed in his tactics. With his many years of gaming experience, his tactics were definitely the best. This self-confidence, Long Fei did have it. Song Qianqian said, "Rest assured, I will take note." Also Song Qianqian looked at a corner and said, "The people from Pan family are here as well." The corner of Long Fei's mouth quirked up as he laughed, "I saw it. I'm afraid no one discovered the people of Pan family before him, because..." The golden light surrounding Pan Zhon's body flickered. The golden light emitted by the boss was too glaring. Long Fei saw it the moment he entered the stage. His heart became excited. "Pan Jiu Axe, is this counted as an ancient holy artifact?" Ever since Pan Zhon took out the Pan Jiu Axe, Long Fei had never forgotten about it in his heart. He was always like this with regards to good things. This time when Pan Zhon appeared again, Long Fei secretly thought in his heart, "I have to think of a way to kill him." Yang Huang ancestor suddenly interrupted, "I just need a little bit of Pan Jiu bloodline, the purity of the Pan Jiu bloodline that flows on his body should be a little higher." Long Fei muttered, "Ancestor, what do you need the Pan Jiu blood essence for?" Ever since Yang Huang ancestor promised to create a blood vein for Long Fei, he would take the initiative to absorb a little bit more of the blood vein that Long Fei killed whenever he encountered a boss. Just what was he doing? "What kind of blood vein do you want to create?" Yang Huang ancestor laughed and said, "You will find out soon enough. I need some super-level blood veins power. I noticed earlier, and don't mention it, the Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Dancing Four Matrial Halls have quite a few divine-ranked blood veins disciples. If I can absorb a bit of their blood vein, the progress of their development will double." Long Fei trembled slightly. "What kind of blood vein is it in the end?" The Yang Huang ancestor smiled mysteriously, "You will know when the time comes." Long Fei did not continue asking. The second battle will be between College of War Martial Arts S. Team competition continued. Other than the previous year's top 8 teams that did not need to fight in the outer ring, the other 20 teams all had to fight for the 8 spots, and the final elimination round would begin. Half an hour later. The first round of alchemy competition had ended. According to the rules of the competition, the second round would begin in 10 minutes. However, he didn't. They were waiting for the first round of team competition S to end. It was still against Long Fei, so he didn't allow Long Fei to have time to participate in alchemy. At the same time, he was also able to participate in the competition and take revenge on Long Fei. If you want to fight, you should be a trash from the Nantian region. If you want status, don't want status. If you want status, don't want status. Humph! Pan Zhon coldly snorted, and said, "Long Fei, I won't die playing with you." The second round of the competition begins. First match, Arrogant Dragon Squad against Team 2. Alchemy competition, Round 2, first match, Long Fei against Wu Changchuan. Please step forward, contestant. It happened again at the same time, not giving Long Fei any chance at all. Song Qianqian said, "Long Fei, don't worry about the team competition. We will definitely not disappoint you." Long Fei smiled lightly and said, "You all have never let me down." Ling Long suddenly said, "Senior brother, Wu Chongquan is a high-ranking disciple of Elixir martial arts branch. His alchemy technique is very strong, so you have to be careful. Yes. Long Fei laughed. His alchemy technique had now reached the 9th stage of the immortal stage. Even the elders of the Elixir martial arts branch S were not his match. Long Fei was not worried about the alchemy. But for Song Qianqian and the others, Long Fei was a little worried. They were all high-ranked disciples of 3 years old. Last time, when Long Fei challenged the College of War Martial Arts, they did not appear. Second battle team, average strength is at the 4th level of the virtual immortals. This secret training has increased their strength by quite a lot. The principal of the College of War Martial Arts said lightly, "It's more than enough to deal with these female disciples." Ouyang Zhon asked, "How was the task I instructed you to do?" College of War Martial Arts laughed, "I already sent the message. Long Fei definitely thought that we were going to target Song Qianqian, but they certainly wouldn't have thought we were targeting the weakest of them. Linglong." Ouyang Zhon laughed sinisterly, and said, "It's time I let Long Fei see the blood, ha ha ha. Besides these 5 female disciples, there are only a few service disciples left, and each one of them is disabled. Let's see just how he fights." It was also at this time. The principal of the Elixir martial arts branch also walked up with a smile on his face and said, "Everything has been arranged, all the spirit grass that Long Fei used have been swapped. These spirit grass shouldn't even think of refining a specific pill." "Heh! Ha ha ha!" Ouyang Zhon laughed out loud. "Alright, this round will be a complete wipeout for Long Fei." Ouyang Zhon was incomparably pleased with himself. As he watched the approaching alchemy competition, he coldly laughed. "Brat, although strength is important, there are times when skills are more important than strength. You're still too inexperienced, ha ha ha." In the arena, the disciples of the second battle team slightly moved and attacked at the same time. All of them attacked Song Qianqian alone. To Song Qianqian, Xiao Ying, Man Tuoluo, Han Xueji, and Ling Long rushed up at the same time. "Sister Qian, we'll help you. You shameless bastards." Just as they were about to rush over, Team 2's moves suddenly changed. Suddenly, 5 long swords locked onto Linglong and 5 swords struck out at the same time. "Linglong, be careful," Song Qianqian shouted loudly. This was all part of their plan. The 5 of them had changed too quickly. Moreover, from the very beginning, their goal was Linglong, and not her. Linglong's combat experience was meager. In the face of such a surprise attack, she panicked and fell into disarray. With 5 sneak attacks, they had sealed off all escape routes in front of her. Pan Zhon laughed coldly. "Not bad, Ouyang Zhon still has some brains. This little girl must die." Ouyang Zhon also laughed complacently. "With Linglong dead, you should be angry, right? At that time. Ha ha ha. Supernatural rating? To establish a new college of martial arts training? Long Fei, you are simply a joke. Linglong, be careful." Linglong watched as the 5 ambushed them. Her heart was in turmoil, but in her heart, she kept telling herself that she could not drag senior brother down. Could not drag arrogant dragon squad down. They could not give the senior brother any trouble. I should do my best to help the senior brother. In a split second, a pair of colorful feathers on Linglong's back burst out. Chapter 908, Powder-Making Competition-S That Are Destined to Lose. Chapter 908, Powder-Making Competition-S That Are Destined to Lose. Linglong was the youngest. However, she was not the weakest. On the contrary, other than Song Qianqian, he was the strongest. He spread his wings and soared into the sky. The gorgeous rainbow feathers carried an endless killing intent. The ancient vermilion bird's blood vein energy seemed to have awakened as it erupted from within its body. Bang, bang, bang. 5 consecutive sounds rang out. Team 2's 5 members were all sent flying by the power released from her body. They crashed into the boundary and bled profusely from all 7 orifices. One hit kill 5 people. At that moment, Linglong only thought of not causing trouble for everyone and not dragging the senior brother down. Therefore, she released her strongest blood vein power. Divine bird, vermilion bird. Vein of ancient rosefinch. Rainbow wings, vein of ancient rosefinch. Our God Emperor Academy actually has a disciple of a vein of ancient rosefinch. Oh my God! Ancient blood vein, an existence that surpasses the divine rank of blood vein. Isn't she the new disciple in Elixir martial arts branch that everyone can bully? Why do you have an ancient blood vein? An uproar broke out. It was floating in the air, exquisite and dazzling. The vein of ancient rosefinch chi emitted from its body diffused throughout every corner of the training grounds. It was incomparably fierce. The fierceness of an ancient vermilion bird. The president of the Elixir martial arts branch was foolish. He actually did not know that there was such a monstrous genius in his own college of martial arts training. Moreover, he actually let her go. Who agreed to let her go? Which elder agreed to it? Is he retarded? The other person was also dumbfounded. The principal of the Rosefinch Martial Art College, he was also confused. Why do I not know that the God Emperor Academy has disciples of Rosefinch blood vessel? What are you all doing? But the Rosefinch Martial Art College lost the successor of the vein of ancient Rosefinch. Then what kind of Rosefinch Martial Art College were they? This was slapping them in the face with their slippers, moreover slapping them on the face. It was too hard. What a strong aura. Father, the aura of ancient strength. Which sister's power is this? Yuna felt the power in Linglong's body, and she became excited. Just like Linglong. Her body also possessed a powerful blood vein power. The black knife caressed Yuna's small head and said softly, "She is called Linglong, Long Fei's little junior sister. Boss is so mighty. No wonder Boss is not worried about the arrogant dragon squad at all." With a sword arts genius like Song Chantian, and also the successor of the vein of ancient Rosefinch, a normal team like this would not be a match for them, unless it's a team from the four matrial halls. Fu Shishan was secretly shocked in his heart. Long Fei gave her a different miracle every time. Thinking about what Long Fei arranged a month ago, Fu Shishan said in his heart, "Did the counterattack start?" She retracted her exquisite wings and landed back on the ground. Song Chantian laughed. Linglong, powerful. Xiao Ying, Man Tualuo, Han Shueji all had a face full of shock. Junior sister Linglong, you're too powerful, aren't you? The vein of ancient Rosefinch. Linglong's smiling face was slightly red as she said, "Sis, please don't laugh at me." Song Chantian laughed. Linglong, this is not a mockery. We can't even get close to being envious. How would we dare to ridicule you? Victory, arrogant dragon squad, enter the next round. It was also at this time. The president of the Rosefinch Martial Art College, Liu Changkong, flew down. The principal of the Elixir Martial Arts branch also flew down along with him and said, "You are a disciple of the Elixir Martial Arts branch. I do not agree to let you leave the Elixir Martial Arts branch, so you are still my Elixir Martial Arts branch's disciple." Liu Changkong yelled directly, "Principal Shu, you can't defend your own disciple, and you still dare to brazenly come out and let her return?" And then, Liu Changkong stood in front of Linglong and said, "You are the inheritor of the ancient vermilion bird. As long as you nod your head, I will bring you into the Rosefinch Martial Art College and give you the position of an elder." He had to take it. How could the Rosefinch Martial Art College not have a successor as a Rosefinch blood vessel? Shu Tianha's face sank, and said, "Principal Liu, she is a disciple of my Elixir Martial Arts branch. It's not good for you to openly poach her, right? Vein of ancient Rosefinch, a monstrous genius. He would definitely become an outstanding existence in the future. If such a disciple was in their college of martial arts training, his strength would increase greatly, and he would become an outstanding existence." Liu Changkong shouted, "What's wrong? Do you, Shu Tianhe, still want to steal from me? So what if I fight with you?" Shu Tianhe was not afraid. The two chairmen fought with red faces and thick necks. They were on the verge of a fight. If that's possible. They really wanted to fight. Song Chantian glanced at the two of them, and said, "What are you two arguing about here? Do you think Linglong will follow you guys?" Linglong said, "Thank you for your kind intentions, headmasters. I will follow senior brother Long Fei." Song Chantian immediately said, "Did you hear that? She's only following senior brother Long Fei. TCH. With that said, Song Chantian pulled Linglong's hand and walked down the stage, completely ignoring the two DNS. Liu Changkong and Shu Tianhe were dumbfounded. Xu Tianha's voice became angry and she said, "I'll give you the best chance to choose." Linglong did not turn back as she said domineeringly, "I choose senior brother Long Fei." Liu Changkong frowned, then shouted, "This time in the competition, Long Fei is dead, I shall see how you choose him then." His murderous intent was even stronger. Hearing this, Linglong replied in her heart, "Then I will also choose to die with him." However, he did not say it out loud. Amongst the crowd, Pan Zhon's eyes turned sinister. "Vein of ancient rosefinch, hey. I don't believe that I won't be able to cripple you." He was furious. After losing 2 rounds consecutively, Arrogant Dragon Squad's popularity soared. The Beautiful Team, 1 kill, Rosefinch Blood Vessel, all of these made Arrogant Dragon Squad's popularity soar. At this moment, Long Fei looked at the spirit grass on the table. These spirit grass were all over the place and could not concoct any special pills. The second round of the challenge was to refine a specific pellet, spiritual pill. The spirit grass that was given to Long Fei had all sorts of messy attributes, making it impossible to refine spiritual pill. "Long Fei, why aren't you refining it yet? If you can't cultivate it, then admit defeat. I'll see if you can refine it. Don't embarrass yourself again." Long Fei heaved a sigh of relief. There were only 3 minutes remaining, but his heart was alarmed as he brought out the green dragon tripod. The power of Celestial surged and the fire raged. Reverse alchemy technique. Long Fei was slightly relieved, as he held onto a spirit grass in one hand. With a strong force from his palm, the spirit liquid dripped into the pill furnace. Seeing his method of refining, a few alchemists immediately sneered, "He doesn't even know what alchemy is, such a method is bound to fail. He's definitely going to lose this battle. Just wait and see." Chapter 909 Reverse Alchemy Technique. Chapter 909 Reverse Alchemy Technique using the spirit grasses that were impossible to refine to give to Long Fei. There was no fairness in such a competition. As long as Long Fei could not concoct a specific pill, he would lose. Thus, he stopped for the second round. However, Long Fei would never admit defeat. The more people wanted him to lose, the more he would climb up the stairs while stepping on top of them. Because at that time, he still hadn't grasped the reverse alchemy technique. But now, Long Fei gained a new understanding towards alchemy. 1,000 changes. The alchemy was like a battle, containing 10,000 moves in one go. This was the retrograde alchemy technique. As long as one grasped the attributes of the spiritual pill, they could copy it down. Just now, Long Fei had been waiting for the other party to finish refining the spiritual pill. Long Fei wanted to know this attribute and its ratio. To Long Fei, who had already cultivated the alchemy technique to the 9th stage of the immortal stage, inspecting the power of celestial attribute and the ratio of each pill was an easy task. As long as he knew all of this, nothing would be a problem. 1 more minute. No, I was wrong. There are still 30 seconds. Brat, hurry up. You'll be considered to have lost after the time has passed. The 3 minutes were cut in half by the referee. The judge, person, field, spirit grass, they were all in the hands of the people from Pan family. How could he fight with them? How could he win? As long as Long Fei lost 1 round, then he would completely lose this competition. He could not lose 1 round, whether it was alchemy or Arrogant Dragon Squad, both could not fail. Time passed second by second. Long Fei was completely focused, and entered into a state of meditation. Just a bit more, just a bit more, just a bit more. 10 seconds. 9 seconds. The judge started to count down, looking at Long Fei who was still refining. His face revealed a pleased smile. "You're not going to lose this time?" Ha ha ha. He was abnormally happy. As long as Long Fei lost, he would get a pretty good reward. A few elders of the Elixir Martial Arts branch also laughed proudly. Long Fei is definitely going to lose this match. Even if it wasn't, it would be too late. Ha ha ha. Not everyone can use alchemy. Many people began to mock him. Do the trash of Nantian region still understand alchemy? Do the people of Nantian region know what is called medicinal pellets? Long Fei, go home and eat your *T. Scram back to your Nantian region. You still want to show off your arrogance there. You are too arrogant. Song Qianqian frowned. The sounds of ridicule around him made them both extremely furious. Linglong muttered, "Come on senior brother, let's show them. Come on young master long boss, all the best." Their hearts hung at their throats. The time was almost up. If they didn't finish refining, they would lose. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Long Fei, it's the last second. The referee arrogantly said, "Time's up." Before he could finish his words, Long Fei moved his idea. Done. Rumble. A loud noise came out from the green dragon tripod and shot into the sky. An elder of the elixir martial arts branch stood up and ridiculed loudly, "Ha ha ha. The furnace blew up. If your method of refining is successful, I'll eat this chair." The sound just now was extremely intense. It was impossible for a pill to produce such a loud noise, and it must have been an explosion. Ouyang Zhon laughed. The principal of the 18 matrial halls began to laugh. Pan Zhon also laughed. Before the competition could even begin, the judge had already announced it loudly, "Long Fei, lose." "Wait." Long Fei raised his right hand, laughed coldly, and said, "How can you conclude that I have lost before even fighting? Did your eye see me lose?" Long Fei said very arrogantly, staring at the elder who was threatening to eat the chair, "If I succeed, what if you don't eat the chair?" The elder sneered, "Long Fei, alchemy is useless if you're so arrogant. I have even more pills than you have eaten rice. Even if you didn't explode your furnace just now, the quality of the pills would not have surpassed the pills he had refined." Long Fei stared at him and said, "What if you don't eat it?" The elder laughed contemptuously. "As a dignified elder of elixir martial arts branch, I will keep my word. You want to make a bet with me? You've lost. What should we do?" Long Fei said, "What do you think?" That elder said, "Kneel before me, kowtow and admit your mistake, and admit that you are a trash. Do you dare to take a gamble?" He was very arrogant. This was because he believed that he had won for sure. He was very familiar with how spiritual pill refined. Long Fei's method could not be successful. It was definitely the method of a waste powder. He was 100% sure. The elixir martial arts branch disciples immediately clamored, "Brat, do you dare to gamble? If you don't dare, scram. Someone like you is worthy of your alchemy. Do you know what alchemy is? Scram back to Nantian region." The corner of Long Fei's mouth rose, and said, "Must we play with such a huge problem?" The elder felt that Long Fei was afraid and became even more proud. "Why are you afraid today? Do you dare to gamble? If you dare bet, you can just admit defeat and directly go back to your Nantian region. Don't embarrass yourself in his place." Long Fei's gaze turned sinister as he said, "I'm afraid that you won't be able to afford it." "Bet." And then Long Fei took out the spiritual pill that was refined out of the green dragon tripod out. Everyone was shocked. "It's actually not a waste powder. Even if it isn't a waste powder, it can't be a spiritual pill. This round of competition is about specific pills. His spirit grass will definitely not be able to refine any of them." The elder was not worried. The 3 elders from the palace question of God stepped forward, sensed the situation slightly, then sat down. One of the elders said indifferently, "Long Fei has won." Their eyes were filled with shock. When they sensed the spiritual pill that Long Fei had refined, they were extremely shocked in their hearts. Because the quality of this spiritual pill had already reached an extreme quality realm. The effects of the spiritual pill's medicinal pellets were unleashed to the limit. The reason they hid the shock in their hearts was because they did not want Long Fei to cause a bigger sensation when he turned a small pellet into a mythical one. This kid isn't simple. To be able to extract and refine the spirit liquid that spiritual pill need from these random spirit grass, and to use a special method to reform and refine them. Truly brilliant. When the palace question of God elder's voice fell, the entire audience was in an uproar. That elder of the elixir martial arts branch immediately fell down from his chair and shouted, "Impossible, absolutely impossible. Those spirit grass are obviously not the materials to refine spiritual pill, they are simply not spiritual pill." While they were talking, he rushed down and shouted, "Brat, it's impossible for you to refine spiritual pill, those spirit grass are not spiritual pill's materials." Long Fei smiled slightly and said, You also know that this is not a material for spiritual pill. Alchemy competition. You did not give me a spirit grass, you wanted me to refine a spiritual pill. Is this your so-called alchemy competition? God Emperor Academy? Ha ha ha. Long Fei loudly laughed at them. Can you all be a little more shameless? Chapter 9-10 Challenge the entire Elixir Martial Arts Branch. Chapter 9-10 Challenge the entire Elixir Martial Arts Branch. Long Fei's words shook the entire audience. Also at this time, the elder was stunned, but he still wanted to take a look at the pellets Long Fei had refined. When he felt the quality of the spiritual pill, he started trembling. Long Fei laughed coldly. Is this a spiritual pill? Bring me that chair. Sun Datu swiftly rushed up and brought the chair up. Long Fei laughed disdainfully. Now eat it. The voice was suddenly enraged and shouted, let me eat it. The entire audience quietened down, especially the disciples of Elixir Martial Arts Branch. It was as if Long Fei had slapped them in the face, and transferring the spirit grass was something they needed to do. Now that it was publicly announced to the public, it was a huge blow to Elixir Martial Arts Branch's reputation. At this time, Xu Tianhe slightly shouted, Long Fei, since you know that the spirit grass is not from the spiritual pill, why didn't you say it first? You have already successfully refined the spiritual pill. What right do you have to say that these spirit grass are not the materials to refine the spiritual pill? Long Fei, you are slandering my Elixir Martial Arts Branch's reputation. I want you to apologize to him. If you dare not do so, don't blame me for being impolite. Xu Tianhe became stronger. Ouyang Zhon was ecstatic. He thought to himself, Xu Tianhe really has a plan, not bad. At this moment, Long Fei laughed coldly. He then picked up the chair beside him and smashed it onto the elder's head, and bellowed, eat it. Bam! That elder was beaten until his head bled profusely. Long Fei stared at Xu Tianhe and said, if you're not being polite, let me see. Swish. Long Fei immediately swore, and his heart became displeased. He had been suppressing the anger in his heart the entire time, as he had been controlling to not directly vent it out. But now, he couldn't help it. Chen Tianfei was ambushed, the arrogant dragon squad was targeted, all sorts of injustices occurred, and they were excluded from all aspects. The more Long Fei endured, the more he realized that Ouyang Zhon and the others were taking an inch out of it. Since you don't want to be courteous, then come at your father. If you don't kill me today, then I will destroy your ancestors tomorrow. Come on. Long Fei roared, with killing intent in his eyes. He stared straight at Xu Tianhe. Do you think I am a sick cat if I don't show off? F***CK. The rage raged. He directly smashed Xu Tianhe down. Xu Tianhe's expression was also extremely ugly, and she was unable to say anything for a moment. At this moment, Long Fei picked up the pole that was scattered on the chair and smashed it down again. Give it to this daddy to eat. If you don't finish eating this chair today, I'll kill you. It's fine to say he is, but not to say Nantian region. That elder was so scared that he trembled, not even daring to fart. He grabbed the wooden chair on the floor and started to eat like a madman, as if he was afraid that Long Fei would take his life. Xu Tianhe was infuriated as he shouted in a serious tone, Long Fei, don't be too presumptuous. He. Lousy is this impudent. If you have the guts, then come down and bite me. Like I said, if you can't kill me today, then I'll tear you apart tomorrow. Just like that, just like that. Unconvinced? If you can't accept it, then come and kill me. Xu Tianhe clenched his fists tightly, smoke rising from the top of his head. He had been stomped by a disciple, and this was his first time as the principal of an Elixir Martial Arts Branch. How would he survive in the future? Xu Tianhe was furious. Extremely angry, a malevolent look appeared on Xu Tianhe's forehead as he heavily shouted, where are the Elixir Martial Arts Branch disciples? Ha! All the disciples of the Elixir Martial Arts Branch stood up and shouted in unison, present. Xu Tianhe stared at Long Fei and said, today, this old man shall see how you can still be so arrogant. At this moment, Long Fei's gaze swept across them as he said with a cold smile, the last time was to use force against your Elixir Martial Arts Branch. Since today is the Academy's competition, I will challenge your entire Elixir Martial Arts Branch. It just so happens that all of your so-called alchemy geniuses, elders, and principals are here. Today, this old man will overturn all of you. Long Fei was incomparably domineering. It was useless to be blind. He would just do it for real and flip through the pages first. To challenge the entire elixir martial arts branch, and it was a challenge using the method of alchemy. Most of the disciples participating in the alchemy competition were elixir martial arts branch's disciples. This time, not only would Long Fei have to fight them alone, he would also include all of the elders of the entire elixir martial arts branch, and even the #1 alchemy grandmaster, Xu Tianhe. Long Fei's gaze swept across the entire competition grounds. Don't waste words with this, Daddy. I'm just asking if you dare. I've dealt with all of you in one go today, so as to save some time. This was what Long Fei wanted to do, as the arrogant dragon squad's strength became more and more exposed. Xiao Ying's violence. Man Tuoluo's spirit poison would quickly be exposed. At that time, they definitely wouldn't be able to hold on for more than a few rounds. Since things were like this, Long Fei might as well finish them off in one go at the alchemy competition, and flip through all of them. The entire audience was shocked. Is this person crazy? Refining a spiritual pill and challenging the true pill-s? What's going on in his head? Isn't this too arrogant? You think the elixir martial arts branch is dogshit? The martial arts arena was in an uproar. Many people were discussing about it. Linglong did not understand. Why does the senior brother want to enrage the entire elixir martial arts branch? He can clearly enter the next round, so there's no need for us to bother about him. Song Qianqian secretly frowned between his brows, and said, he's worried about us, and wants to end the alchemy competition early. Man Tuoluo said slightly, that's how Long Fei is. He thinks about everything others do, and never thinks about himself. He's so stupid. How can there be such a foolish man? All the girls felt displeasure in their hearts. Ouyang Zhon took a step down, grabbed onto Xu Tianhe and said, Brother Xu, don't fall for his trick. He also clearly knew what Long Fei wanted to do. He wanted to anger Xu Tianhe and end the alchemy competition. Xu Tianhe was already raging and did not listen to advice at all, as he said, let go. If I don't teach this brat a lesson today, I, Xu Tianhe, won't have the face to stay in God Emperor Academy. This is going too far. Ouyang Zhon said, Brother Xu, calm down. Long Fei is purposefully provoking you. The other chairman also followed, saying, Principal Xu, the overall situation is more important. Calm down. Why were you angered by a lame duck? Everyone tried to persuade him otherwise. Xu Tianhe also calmed down a little. However, Long Fei started to coldly laugh out loud. What kind of dogshit elixir martial arts branch are you talking about? A bunch of trash, and you still dare to say that I don't understand alchemy, and that I don't even know how to retaliate while sitting on your head and shitting? Elixir martial arts branch? Bullshit. Ha ha ha. His words were like adding oil to the fire. Xu Tianhe, who was slightly calmer, instantly became berserk as his body sank down. With a leap, he landed heavily on top of stage of powder-making competition. I will let you know what alchemy is and what it means to die. Long Fei laughed coldly. 18 matrial halls, the 18 bosses will start from you. Chapter 911, Not Crazy. Chapter 911, Not Crazy. Principle of 18 matrial halls, 18 bosses. 1 month ago, they were not the shiny boss in College of War Martial Arts, but this time, they had mutated. The mutation was too sudden. If Long Fei had not angered Xu Tianhe, this boss of his would not have been mutated just now. Right now, his name was red, and his body was glowing with a golden light. Long Fei was excited when he saw this, and thought to himself, if I get enraged, I will mutate, and 18 matrial halls' headmasters will all be bosses. Damn, this time they are going to attack at the right time. The drop rate of a mutated boss should be quite high, right? Long Fei was not afraid of Xu Tianhe's mutation. On the other hand, he was very excited. In the game, the most exciting thing to do was to kill bosses, kill holy artifact, and suddenly appear as 18 bosses. Adding Pan Zhon, who had the Pan Jiu axe, there were a total of 19 bosses. Long Fei looked at the furious Xu Tianhe, and purposely laughed at him. Yo, you're going to get angry just by being provoked? It looks so scary. Xu Tianhe's eyes flashed with killing intent. He pointed at Long Fei and shouted, Kid, are you afraid now? If you are afraid, kneel down and kowtow 100 times. With the name read on top of Xu Tianhe's head, a boss in this state could attack him at any time. However, what is someone with alchemy afraid of him for? Xu Tianhe was the #1 Grandmaster of Pills in the God Emperor Academy, and his alchemy technique had already reached the highest level of the 9th stage of the immortal stage. The high level of alchemy technique did not mean that his martial arts training was also powerful. Among all the directors of College of Martial Arts Training, his level of martial arts training was the lowest. How could Long Fei be afraid of such a person? Afraid? Long Fei fixed his hair for a bit, and then sneered, I, Long Fei, have never been afraid in my entire life. I just think that you're very obedient. I told you to come down as soon as you're down, like an old dog, ha ha ha. Very arrogant. Xu Tianhe took a step forward with incomparable rage and shouted, Long Fei, I must kill you today. The aura on his body was extremely oppressive. Xu Tianhe's cultivation was not very high, but he was still in the blood immortal realm, and what he was good at was fighting type pills. Right now, his anger was hard to be quelled, and he wished that he could tear Long Fei into pieces. Long Fei's mouth rose, and said, Since you want to kill me, then let's play it big, aren't you the #1 alchemist? Do you dare to gamble with your life? They were trying to force Xu Tianhe into a corner, so as to not give him any opportunity to catch his breath. As for refining medicinal pellets, for ordinary disciples and elders, they were not Long Fei's match. But if one were to talk about Xu Tianhe, Long Fei really did not think that he was absolutely able to beat me. That's why. Long Fei wanted to force him even more. At the same time, Long Fei had also forced himself into a corner. What's boss doing? Doesn't he know that Xu Tianhe is God Emperor Academy's #1 alchemist? To challenge Xu Tianhe and even gamble with his life, aren't we just going to throw our lives away? Senior brother, what's wrong with him? Xu Tianhe is a master of alchemy, senior brother is no match for him. Linglong said worriedly. She was very clear that Long Fei's alchemy technique was very powerful, but no matter how powerful it was impossible for it to be a match for Xu Tianhe. Song Qianqian muttered, his forcing himself into a corner. Huh! Xiao Ying cried out in alarm, and said, Sister Qian Qian, why did young Master Long push herself to death? She didn't understand. Many people did not understand. Song Qianqian had experienced 2 adventures in the Transu continent, and she was very clear about Long Fei's personality. Every time, she would force herself into a dead end. Because only in desperate times could a person break his or her limits. With just the alchemy technique, Long Fei knew that he would definitely not be Xu Tianhe's match. Only by forcing him into a dead end and exploding his innate talent and potential would Long Fei be able to win. If he wasn't crazy, then he couldn't be a demon. Long Fei was just like that. Everyone around the martial arts practice grounds started to discuss with one another. Isn't this too arrogant? This guy is overestimating himself. He actually dared to challenge the first alchemy grandmaster, and still wants to gamble his life. If you want to scare people, you should at least see who your target is. Xu Tianhe, God Emperor Academy's #1 alchemist. I thought I had some brains, but I didn't expect me to be this stupid and gamble my life. Just wait for your death. Ouyang Zhon and the few other chairmen, who were originally trying their best to dissuade them, had also stopped at this time. None of them thought that Long Fei would actually dare to take such a big gamble. A life wager. He was courting death. If that was the case, why stop him? Ouyang Zhon laughed coldly, looked at Long Fei and said with contempt, Long Fei, oh Long Fei, if I want to know what you're so intelligent for, why would I waste so much effort on? With Xu Tianhe. Isn't this reporting to Yama myself? Ha ha ha. Ouyang Zhon and the few headmasters all started to laugh out loud. Ouyang Zhon deliberately pretended to be the headmaster and said, Long Fei, you're betting your life on this, huh? Long Fei glanced at him, glanced at Ouyang Zhon, and said, What? Is Principal Ouyang afraid? Can't afford to lose. You can't afford to lose, so go home. Ouyang sneered and said, I'm really afraid that I won't be able to afford it. I'm afraid that you won't be able to afford it. And then, Shu Tianhe's gaze tightened as he coldly shouted, there is a path to heaven that you refuse to take. There is no door to hell yet you barged in. Long Fei, your life is mine now. Go ahead. What kind of bet? Shu Tianhe agreed. Right now, he couldn't wait to kill Long Fei. Long Fei said, it's simple, we can refine as we wish. Whoever has the higher level of pills, the better quality pills, whoever wins. The key point is, willing to admit defeat, you, Shu Tianhe, won't be unable to afford to lose, right? That's fate. If we lose, there's nothing left. Long Fei continued to reveal a look of despise. Shu Tianhe sneered, don't worry. With over 100,000 people here as witnesses, you won't be able to escape. I'll personally send you off. At this moment, Pan Zhong suddenly stood up and said, Principal Shu, my Pan family will provide you with 9 pure and single attribute holy herb. I wish you can refine them into 9 dragon pill. As soon as he finished, immediately, 2 disciples from Pan family took out 9 stalks of immortal grass. The power of celestial was dense and it emitted a faint glow. Long Fei stared straight ahead. These 9 holy herb were like light-emitting weapons, they were definitely good stuff. Every single one of them was at least 100 times more expensive. The most important point was that these holy herb had a single attribute. One would be considered a fire attribute while the other was a fire attribute. This immortal herb was known as the supreme grade. With these top-grade immortal herbs, Shu Tianhe had already won. Even those weaker than Long Fei could easily defeat him, let alone Shu Tianhe. He would definitely lose. Life must die. Chapter 9:12 I make them worship me like gods. Chapter 9:12 I make them worship me like gods. Holy herb. Pan family was worthy of being called a Pan family. He used holy herbs as soon as he attacked, and even created 9 of them. Even a level 1 alchemy technique could refine a holy plea, let alone a level 9 immortal rank Shu Tianhe. How could Long Fei be a match for him? Pan family's move had directly put Long Fei to death. Pan Zhong looked at Long Fei who was on the stage, disdainfully sneered, and said, Today, I'll let you have a taste of what it means to crush someone. Heh. Dao Ba shouted angrily, isn't this too shameless? What is the holy herb refining? Even direct devouring can have the same effect as holy plea, do you still need to compare? Heishan asked, do we not have holy herb? Fu Shishan's face sank, and his heart was in great pain. She could not take out the holy herb to help Long Fei. If she could not help Long Fei, she felt very uncomfortable in her heart. In terms of financial and material resources, in any aspect, the Fengyuan Business Alliance was not a match for the Pan family. Let alone 9 holy herb, she would not even be able to take one out. Fu Shishan lowered his head, feeling upset. Furthermore, if the 9 holy herb were to be refined together, then Shu Tianhe would be able to refine a 9 dragon pill. This is the strongest inheritance in the God Emperor Academy, and it can only be obtained using holy herbs. Song Qianqian's heart sank, it's a pity that this place is not dark domain, otherwise. Man Tuoluo muttered to himself, even the entire drug race would not be able to produce that many holy herb. The Pan family is simply too powerful. What should we do? Pan family wants Long Fei to die, Sister Qian. Think of a way. Xiao Ying said anxiously. This was no ordinary competition. This was a life wager. If Long Fei lost, Ouyang and the others would definitely not let him leave this place alive, they would definitely kill him. If he won, is that possible? Shu Tianhe had already reached the pinnacle of the alchemy realm, adding the 9 holy herb, even in the entire God's martial continent, no one would be a match for him, let alone Long Fei. It was impossible to win. Song Qianqian shook his head gently, there's no other way. I can't think of anything. Suddenly, Linglong rushed out and said, Principal Shu, didn't you want me to return to the Elixir Martial Arts branch? As long as you allow senior brother Long Fei to withdraw from the competition, I will agree to your request. I promise you anything. It was the only way she could think of. Stupid way. Xu Tianhe sneered in disdain, and said, "You agree now? Too late. Today, I must let him die." If it was the beginning, perhaps there would be room for discussion. After all, he was the successor of the vein of ancient Rosefinch, but now that the Pan family had already taken out the holy herb, he had no way out. He had to trample Long Fei to death. Moreover, his anger from being angered by Long Fei did not decrease in the slightest. He wanted to stomp Long Fei to death. Linglong looked at Liu Changkong again and said, "Principal Liu, I am the successor of the Rosefinch blood vessel. I can enter the Vermilion Bird Academy. I beg of you." She knew what alchemy were and what holy herb were. She also knew that Long Fei would definitely lose. She did not want to see Long Fei die. Liu Changkong laughed in disdain. "Didn't you choose Long Fei just now? Begging me now? Do you really take yourself seriously? Don't worry. Your Rosefinch blood vessel will enter the Vermilion Bird Temple, but you can't enter the Rosefinch Martial Art College. As for that kid, he's dead for sure today." Liu Changkong laughed coldly. He could not possibly agree to Linglong's request. Forget about Linglong being the successor to the Rosefinch blood vessel. Even if she was the king of hell himself, it would be useless. At a time like this, he couldn't be at odds with the Pan family. The most important thing was that once the Rosefinch blood vessel on Linglong was extracted, it would mean that the Rosefinch Martial Art College would have a Rosefinch blood vessel. "I beg you, let senior brother Long Fei withdraw from the competition." Linglong cried until she was in tears. It was heartbreaking looking at her like this. As for the elders of the God Emperor Academy, they were all like gods standing high above, their eyes cold and filled with ridicule. She looked at Linglong coldly, without a shred of sympathy. Moreover, they were all thinking of one thing in their hearts: kill Long Fei. Linglong cried, "I beg you, please let senior brother Long Fei go." "Ha ha ha. Long Fei, do you see? You are currently like an ant struggling to live, so lowly that you need a woman to plead for you. You're really too weak. You're too petty. Ha ha ha." Ouyang Zhon laughed loudly. "Didn't you say you wanted to challenge 18 matrial halls? With just you? This kind of trash from the Nantian region wants to accompany us?" His voice was like a thunderclap, rolling in the sky above the martial arts practice grounds and not dissipating for a long time. It was also at this time the whole of martial arts arena burst into laughter. "Challenge the 18 matrial halls? Ha ha ha. Is he joking? It's all because of Nantian region and whether they're trash. I think they're brainless and disabled, right? Presumptuous trash." The disciples of the 18 matrial halls all laughed at Long Fei. Seeing Long Fei being crushed, they were all extremely excited in their hearts. Pan Zhon also laughed complacently. "Brat, how did it feel to be crushed?" "It must be great, ha ha ha." Ridicule spread in all directions. To challenge the 18 matrial halls was like an enormous joke. Suddenly, Long Fei walked down from stage of powder-making competition and walked towards Linglong. At this moment, Xu Tianhe bellowed, "Brat, you want to leave?" Without waiting for him to finish speaking, Long Fei's finger moved, pointed at his face and said, "Don't be in such a hurry, I will definitely not leave today." He walked up to Linglong and gently wiped the tears off her face and said, "Linglong, don't worry, I won't lose." Linglong looked at Long Fei and said, "Senior brother, they will really kill you, they really will. Let's go, don't compete anymore." Song Qianqian and the others also walked over. Song Qianqian immediately said, "Long Fei, let's go, we can rush out." Man Tuoluo slightly nodded. "My poison spirit immortal root has already been cultivated to the 7th level. My poison can make. I'm not leaving." Without waiting for them to finish speaking, Long Fei said directly, "Don't worry, I won't be defeated that easily. I won't lose that easily. Qian Qian, Ling Long, listen carefully. Even if I die in the future, I still don't want you all to go beg anyone, especially a person who thinks he is above everyone else." Long Fei swept his gaze across the entire audience. His voice suddenly became heavy, and he coldly laughed. "They're now mocking me. After the large competition ends, I want them to respect me as if I'm a god." Finished. Long Fei turned and walked towards the stage of powder-making competition, summoning his god's devil ancient case. Chapter 9:13 Dragon's Ancestor Pill. Chapter 9:13 Dragon's Ancestor Pill. Long Fei stepped onto the stage of powder-making competition, stared at Xu Tianhe and coldly said, "Let's begin. Who was stronger? Then he would ruthlessly trample that person to death." The current Long Fei was like a person standing on the edge of a cliff. While he was speaking, Long Fei moved and summoned his god's devil ancient case. Xu Tianhe laughed in disdain, and said, "Brat, then prepare to die." Finished. Xu Tianhe moved and took out a pill furnace. On the pill furnace were carvings of all sorts of strange runes. The crowd was once again in an uproar. Ancient powder tripod? I heard it's the #1 pill furnace in God's martial continent. Principal Xu is getting serious. He's going to use his alchemy to suppress Long Fei. Once his pill furnace was out, the Yang Huang ancestors' eyes lit up. What a good thing, it will definitely be greatly nourished. The corner of Long Fei's mouth hooked up as he said, "Don't worry, I'll definitely let you eat it." At the same time, in the stands, Ouyang Zhon smiled slightly and said, "We should add some oil to Long Fei, add some vinegar to him, and let him feel a little better." Heh! Many of the chairmen were stunned. Ouyang Zhon suddenly said to the referee, "The third round of team competition will begin." The referee elder immediately understood and loudly announced, "The third round of the team ranking tournament will now begin. Arrogant Dragon Squad against Blood Skeleton's second team." As soon as his voice faded, Xiong Feng's neck shook, his joints popping out, revealing a sinister smile, and said, "Brothers, it's time for us to go up." Han Xueji immediately protested loudly, "We have just finished the second round and haven't even finished it yet. Why are we the ones doing the same? I protest." The protest was futile. The referee smiled slightly and said, "I forgot to tell you just now that those teams all admitted defeat." Song Chantian frowned, then turned to Fairy Hall Elder and protested, "You are obviously targeting us, do you not care?" One of the Fairy Hall Elder sneered, and said, "We only care about the evaluation of the results. Whether or not you say it's fair, you protest. If you are capable, then protest to the Supreme God." You, Song Chantian was furious. The Fairy Hall Elder sneered, "Little miss, I advise you to hurry up and enter the stage. Otherwise, if you do not enter the stage in half a minute, I will sentence you, Arrogant Dragon Squad, to lose." Ha ha ha. Protest. Pan Zhon found it funny. "Don't tell me you don't know that all of them are from my Pan family. 18 Matrial Halls is a member of my Pan family. Referee, all of them are my Pan family's people. Long Fei, what do you think you should use to fight with me?" Pan Zhon laughed coldly. Ouyang Zhon also sneered and said, "Is the protest over? If you don't want to go up on stage, then your Arrogant Dragon Squad will stop here." Ha ha ha. Arrogant Dragon Squad, the fate of Long Fei was completely under their control, and there was no way he could escape their grasp. Song Chantian was angered in his heart. He did not expect that the dignified God's Martial Continent's #1 academy would actually be such a group of despicable people. And then, Song Chantian shouted, "Kill him ruthlessly once you get on the stage, don't let Long Fei get distracted." Ouyang Zhon's goal was to distract Long Fei, so he needed to fully devote himself to using his alchemy. Once he was distracted, he would be negligent in controlling the flames, and the quality of the medicinal pellets would be affected. Everything was targeted at Long Fei. Rumble. Xiong Feng stood on the stage and with both of his arms exploding, the demon beast immortal root in his body released a powerful force and roared, "Little girl, come here. Let's see how lousy will kill you. Ha ha ha." Blood Skeleton's second team. The elite disciples of the White Tiger Kung Fu tribe had extremely strong cultivation. Moreover, they were all ruthless people. Song Chantian looked at Long Fei, who was on top of the stage of powder-making competition, and Long Fei also looked at her. Long Fei secretly clenched his fists. "You want to kill me? Let's see who kills who then." Buzz. Long Fei summoned his green dragon medicine tripod. His mind started to spin frantically. He didn't want to distract Song Chantian and the others, just like how they didn't want to distract him. He had to hurry and refine the pellet. Chaos Realm's Destiny Changer. Destiny Changer are indeed strong, but this type of medicinal pellet is not suitable for use at this time. Destiny Changer are medicinal pellets that are used to cause a sensation. This sensation was not created by him, but was caused by the outbreak of the war dragon after being consumed by the arrogant dragon squad. Long Fei thought crazily. No, Destiny Changer, it's not time yet. Long Fei asked in his mind, what kind of pill would you like to refine, and what kind of pill would you like to refine? Suddenly, Green Dragon Ancestor slightly said, Boss, didn't he want to refine some 9 dragon pill just now? What does 9 dragons count as? What is the name of when the power of 14th Dragon Ancestor fuses into medicinal pellets? Long Fei's eyes lit up and he immediately became excited. Understood. Is the 9 dragon pill awesome? Then let me show you what ancestral dragon pills are. And then, the power in Long Fei's heart moved. Level 4 variant crystal nucleus. Devour. Boom. Long Fei's body exploded as a system announcement sounded out. Ding. Player Long Fei has fused with the power of a level 4 variant crystal nucleus. Within 5 minutes, you need to obtain the power of a crystal cores mutation. What was the power of a crystal core mutation? It was the power of the mutated tribulation. He did not use this kind of power to fight or to cultivate, but to convert this power into power of celestial and use this kind of mutated power to activate the pill furnace. Boom, boom, boom. The aura of the power of celestial on Long Fei's body abruptly changed, and the flames ignited with 7 different colors. He stretched out his right hand, and grabbed out a stalk of immortal grass from the god's devil ancient case. It was an immortal herb with dense demonic chi. Moreover, Long Fei stared at Pan Zhon, who was in the observation group, and coldly said with contempt, Do you think that you're the only one who has a holy herb? This daddy here has a divine grade demon spirit immortal grass. What kind of existence was the god's devil ancient case? It could quickly allow spirit grass to evolve and transform again, absorbing a strong demonic energy. Although the spirit grass that Drug Race had brought with him this time wasn't a divine rank spirit grass, with the evolution of the god's devil ancient case's power, many of them had already evolved into divine rank demonic spirit immortal grasses. Its level was higher than the holy herb. Pan Zhon's forehead sank. Shu Tianha's expression was still filled with disdain, and he said, With your level of alchemy, you basically won't be able to control it. You think your immortal stage of the 9th stage is very powerful? I am also at the 9th stage of the immortal stage. Long Fei's aura exploded again as the spirit grass entered the furnace, completely controlling the powerful spirit liquid inside the spirit grass. Shu Tianha's brows also tightened up at the same time. It was also at this time. Ouyang Zhon looked at Xiong Feng on the team competition stage. The idea moved: attack, kill them all, do not leave a single one alive. Chapter 914 Long Fei is about to go berserk. Chapter 914 Long Fei is about to go berserk as soon as he finished. The energy on Xiong Feng's body exploded out as his body transformed and his clothes burst apart. His body doubled in size, and his body released a cruel aura. In just a second, he had turned into a monster that was half man, half beast, and so on. This was an existence that had cultivated the demon beast immortal foundation to the 9th realm. Kill! Xiong Feng bellowed, and rushed forward. Song Qianqian's eyes darkened, and said, Everyone be careful. Xiao Ying, protect man Tuoluo. Senior Sister Han, Linglong, you guys are in charge of the left and right wings. After Song Qianqian finished speaking, the celestial yin sword in his hand moved, thrusting forward. Xiong Feng simply did not defend at all. With a wild laugh, he used his own body to block it. Buzz! The lunar sword bent under the pressure. The energy of the supreme force burst out from his body and he rushed forward, letting out a furious roar, get loss. Bam! The power in his body burst forth, flying along the lunar sword. Song Qianqian was also flung out, his body like a fairy from the 9 heavens, flashing through the air, his sword thrusting forward once again. This strike was on the head. Xiong Feng had already turned into a monster, his forehead also facing upwards. Bam! Aside from leaving a trail of blood, he did not receive any damage. Song Qianqian's attacks simply could not harm him. His defense was too powerful. Primordial beasts, his physical body defense had already reached an extremely powerful level. Ordinary attacks weren't enough. Xiong Feng's attacks were also physical attacks. If she could not find a weak point, she would feel that she would not be able to kill Xiong Feng. Ha ha ha. Little girl, come again. Xiong Feng laughed out loud, his body sinking down as he shouted, whoosh. A sonic boom could be heard. Xiao Ying's expression changed. With a step, he rushed forward, and the violence on his arm surged as he punched towards Xiong Feng's head. Boom. Crack. Bam. The joints of Xiao Ying's right arm broke, and his body was flung out, smashing into the boundary. His face turned pale white, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Xiong Feng laughed out loud. You want to compare strength with me? You're courting death. Who's next? Xiong Feng's gaze darkened, he stared at Han Shueji and said, Senior Sister Han, didn't your arrogant dragon squad want to cripple our blood skeleton team? Where's that trash Dao Feng? You're too scared to come, right? Ha ha ha. Suddenly, Xiong Feng's strength exploded once again, when he suddenly rushed out sneakily, and the other 4 people attacked at the same time. Song Qianqian blocked it with her sword, and the sword flew out. Even with her high cultivation, Xiong Feng's defense was too powerful. Cultivating the immortal foundation to the 9th level was simply too terrifying. Bam! Even though Han Shueji was sent flying, he could not endure it any longer. His face was pale as he spat out a mouthful of blood. Arrogant Dragon Squad was completely unable to withstand Xiong Feng's bombardment, and there were 4 people behind him who were working together with Xiong Feng to completely crush Song Qianqian's group of 5. In the stands, Ouyang Zhon loudly laughed and said to Long Fei in a loud voice, Long Fei, look at those women of yours, they're all about to die one by one. Right. What do you think about letting them be attacked by a demon beast-like monster before they die? Ha ha ha. Let's watch the live broadcast. Does anyone want to watch it? Ouyang Zhon said loudly. He wanted to disrupt Long Fei's attention. Just to distract him. In the training field, a loud voice resounded as it said, yes. Beautiful women and wild beasts, wow, this is too exciting. I've only seen the Spring Palaces map, and I've never seen a live broadcast before. Moreover, these 5 women are too beautiful. They'll definitely look even better if they don't wear any clothes. Senior brother Xiong Feng, take off all their clothes, ha ha ha. Many of the disciples became excited, as if they had been injected with chicken blood. Swish. A large part of Xiao Ying's sleeve was torn off, and half of his arm was revealed, revealing a small undergarment underneath. Ha ha ha. Xiong Feng laughed lewdly. Brothers, each of you take 1 person. Let me have a taste of the strongest one, ha ha. I will definitely make them feel good about their luck. Inside the boundary, Song Qianqian was constantly thinking of a way, but he was still unable to break through Xiong Feng's defense. Below the arena, Aoya's face trembled in anger. Yuna huffed in anger, Father, they are too much of a bully. The black knife clenched its fists. Dao Ba continued to curse. Bullying others? They were going to bully all of Long Fei's forces. 19 pairs of fists stood at the side with their chests crossed, coldly laughing. This kind of matter was originally handled by their law enforcement agency, but he didn't stop it. Because, Supreme God had said that he would teach Long Fei a lesson. Moreover, as long as Long Fei did not die, these women would be insulted and raped, he did not care at all. It was the same for the elders of the palace question of God. He had no intention to stop them at all. In fact, he was watching them with relish. Swish. Han Shueji's clothes had been torn apart, and her smooth and fair skin was exposed. It was as if double peaks were about to burst out, causing even more disciples to cry out in excitement. Wow, it's so big. Ahahaha. I've already had my reaction. Senior brother Xiong Feng, give me a little more strength. They were too excited. Ouyang Zhon laughed loudly again, and said, Long Fei, your women are all about to be stripped, ha ha ha. Long Fei clenched his teeth tightly, the killing intent in his heart burst out like a volcano, the killing thought surged, as though it wanted to control his body. Killing intent. An incredibly thick killing intent. However, there was nothing he could do now. Everything depended on Song Qianqian and the others. At this time, even if he rushed forward, it would be useless, because the boundary would block him outside. He was roaring in his heart, angry, and said, "Ah, ah, ah." Green Dragon Ancestor kept reminding him, "Boss, calm down. You need to calm down." The Yang Huang Ancestor also said, "Long Fei, you have to calm down right now. They want to enrage you and make your alchemy lose, so don't get distracted." Not getting distracted. How could he not be distracted when his woman was humiliated? Not only was Long Fei distracted, his mind was also condensing the killing thoughts aura which was frantically growing. It was as if he was going to go berserk. Long Fei simply could not control it. He also knew that he couldn't afford to be distracted at the critical moment of his alchemy, but he wasn't a god or a saint. If he couldn't do that, then his heart would be filled with rage and killing intent, and he wouldn't be able to calm down. "Ah!" Long Fei roared. Ouyang Zhon was laughing maniacally. The 18 matrial halls' headmaster and elders were laughing wildly. Pan Zhon was laughing maniacally. Palace Question of God was laughing maniacally. The 19th of the Law Enforcement Agency was also laughing wildly. Everyone looked at Long Fei with ridiculing looks, and laughed smugly. Long Fei was about to go berserk. Chapter 915, Level 7 Unparalleled, Open. Chapter 915, Level 7 Unparalleled, Open. I really can't stand it. Long Fei's heart had yet to cultivate to that kind of realm that could cut off all emotions and 6 desires. Seeing his own woman suffering and being humiliated, he sank into a berserk state. It was a very uncomfortable state, an unspeakable discomfort. The pill fire had already lost its balance and the immortal grass spirit liquid inside the pill furnace began to uncontrollably squeeze out of each other. If this continued, it would definitely fail within half a minute. Calm down. Long Fei, you have to calm down. Boss, calm down. Boss, calm down. They were all anxious. The more anxious Long Fei was, the happier they became. Xiong Feng, strip all of their clothes, and let us see the women on the beauty standings, ha ha ha. Look at their skin. Look at their tiny waists. It's so life-threatening. Ha ha ha. If I were their man, let alone alchemy, even if I was in hell, I would still get up and charge forward. They can't even protect their own women and they can only watch as they get bullied. How are they even considered men? Just die as soon as possible. All sorts of disdainful voices that were directed at Long Fei resounded from the surrounding grandstands. The anger in Long Fei's heart was almost unbearable. The strong killing intent surged towards the Golden Dragon Master's defensive line again and again. This was Long Fei's own strength, even the Golden Dragon Master would not be able to defend against it. Jin Long said with difficulty, "Big Brother Azure Dragon, I'm almost at my limit. I can't hold on anymore. Boss will go berserk if this goes on, his body will be controlled by the killing thought." Big Brother Azure Dragon, quickly think of a way, Sea Dragon King angrily said, F***ck his mother, these bastards are trying to make a fool of us. We'll rush out and crush all of them. He's a bad-tempered man. He couldn't tolerate it. Poisonous Ancestor and Blood Dragon Ancestor quickly agreed, I agree, if we don't teach these people a lesson, they would think our boss is so easily bullied. Not waiting for them to finish. Green Dragon Ancestor shouted, don't act recklessly, you have not reached a certain point yet. Once we appear, the entire immortal domain will be thrown into chaos, and the consequences will be unimaginable. Don't forget the consequences when we came to God's martial continent. We can't start a slaughter anymore. Also, he can only endure this trial by himself. Green Dragon Ancestor stopped all the dragons and spoke loudly once again, Boss, calm down, calm down. The only thing you need to do now is to calm down. Long Fei roared in his heart, calm down? Calm down, just calm down. Calm down and let Lousy see. F***ck. I'm going all out. Long Fei was furious in his heart. He couldn't care so much anymore, he couldn't even protect his own woman. What kind of man was this? What right did he have to live in this world? What do you mean by college of martial arts training? What do you mean by tribulation? If you can't even protect your own woman, what can you do even if you obtain the entire world? Long Fei's heart exploded again and again. The moment he made his decision, suddenly, a power he had never felt before descended upon his mind. It fell down like a rain of dew, instantly extinguishing the rage in his mind. Moreover, the frenzied killing intent in his mind was instantly extinguished. This kind of strength was too powerful. One must know that Long Fei could go berserk at any time now, but he couldn't even control it himself. And yet, he was able to control this power. The moment the anger in Long Fei's heart was extinguished, Yuna's body was incomparably weak as she muttered, "Big brother Long Fei, you have to do your best." Following that, she fainted and her eyes darkened. The black knife hugged her gently as his tears flowed. He was very familiar with Yuna's strength just now. Because Yuna had used the power within her body to save him back then when he went berserk that year, and that was also when Yuna's eyes became blind. The black knife held onto Yuna tightly, but he did not say anything as he sobbed. Buzz. Long Fei acted as if he was revived. He focused and instantly controlled the power of Celestial, shouting in his heart, "Green Dragon, it's your turn now." Green Dragon Ancestor's face tensed up, and said, "Boss, you just threw in 14 demonic spirit intense immortal grass, you can't control it. If we were to merge our power, I'm worried about you. There's no time. Hurry up." Long Fei did not have much time to drag this on. He had to concoct the pill in the shortest amount of time possible. "Hurry up." Long Fei let out a heavy roar. Green Dragon Ancestor shouted, "Boss, you have control over it, we are going to start now." As soon as he finished, suddenly, the sky above Long Fei suddenly darkened, and a loud dragon roar came out. "The 9 dragon pill, right? I shall let you experience what is called a dragon ancestor pill. Azure Dragon, descend. Rumble." The dragon roared, lightning striking down, and the spirit liquid within the powder tripod began to boil, continuously erupting, as though countless evil spirits were trying to break through Long Fei's control. Long Fei's mental energy was stretched taut to the limit, the strength of his alchemy technique unleashed to the extreme. "Patriarch Sea Dragon, fall for me." Roar. With a roar, the huge wave hit the shore and a powerful force slammed into the pill furnace. The power within the pill furnace became even more violent. Very difficult to control. Blood Dragon, descend. Gold Dragon, descend. Boom, boom, boom. Roar, 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 roar. The green dragon medicine tripod was like a volcano as lightning struck down and the lava inside surged. Long Fei was drenched in sweat. At the same time, his lips turned white, his teeth chattered. His mind was about to collapse, and he had broken through his limits time and time again. "Ah! Black Dragon, fall for me." Long Fei let out a loud roar. Black Dragon Ancestor roared out, his power becoming even more ferocious. Because it was the last bit of power, it had to play a crucial role. The Black Dragon Ancestor idea moved, and said, "Boss, I'm here." Rumble. Long Fei's arm sank. The green dragon medicine tripod seemed to be weighing millions and millions of kilograms, and he couldn't endure it any longer. Long Fei's body was also secretly trembling. As the last bit of the Ancestor Dragon's power descended, Long Fei roared in his heart, "Level 7 unparalleled." Open. Crack. Wu Shuang had already reached level 7, the 128 points of elemental energy burst out from Long Fei's body. In that moment, it was as if his body was about to be torn apart by the energy. Long Fei's entire body was scarlet red, his power was releasing white smoke like steam. He was also frantically controlling the power in his body, controlling the spirit liquid from the green dragon medicine tripod S. A few seconds later, Long Fei channeled all of his energy into the green dragon medicine tripod. "Let me do it." The system rang out. Ding. Chapter 916 Infuriated Killing. Chapter 916 Infuriated Killing. A system notification rang out. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for successfully refining the pill. The reward is level +1. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently at the 9th stage of the Virtual Immortals. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for breaking through the 9th level of the Divine Ranked Alchemy technique, currently at the Divine Ranked Alchemy. The system sounded out continuously. The moment Long Fei heard that he had succeeded, he put down the furnace and ran out. This action shocked everyone. What does this kid want to do? He wants to run. Men, stop him. Don't let him get away. Run. I'd like to see where you can run to. Ouyang Zhon laughed excitedly. He firmly believed that the reason Long Fei had failed his alchemy was because he wanted to escape. Following his command, several senior disciples of the God Emperor Academy rode on swords and landed heavily. They stood in front of Long Fei and shouted coldly, "Trash, let's see where you can run to." Boom, boom, boom. Several figures surrounded Long Fei. In the distance, Dao Bai's expression turned ugly as he shouted, "F*CK them. F*CK them to death." Ha! Hei Shan, One-Eyed and a few other brothers quickly stood up. The black box on the black knife's back trembled as its fighting spirit ignited. At this moment, Fu Shishan looked at the expression in Long Fei's eyes and said faintly, "Don't attack yet, isn't Long Fei trying to escape?" She was very clear about Long Fei's personality. He definitely would not run, even if he lost in alchemy, he would not run away, because he had said before that the people of the Long family would never run away. Long Fei's gaze sank, and she coldly said one word, "Scram. You're courting death. Attack." Several senior disciples rushed forward. Both of Long Fei's eyes burned with anger. With a wave of his right hand, a dragon salya rushed out of thin air. Boom. The black energy blade combusted. Black Dragon Ancestor was also angry. Long Fei's killing intent rose. He was at the 7th level unparalleled, 128 times the attribute strength was still in his body. He sinisterly shouted, "If you don't move, then all of you will die." Killing God Chop. Sweep out all enemies, chop off the waist. Boom. The power of the Dragon Salya erupted, and the Dragon Salya used the power of the God of Death to slash horizontally. The sword chi formed a circle as it shot out. The power of the God of Slaughter started to surge, forming a shock wave. Boom, boom, boom. A huge energy wave that could be seen with the naked eye came out, and explosions sounded out in the air. Once the blade came out, Long Fei did not even spare them a glance as he let out a low shout, "Those who block me, die." Those senior disciples stood still, waiting for Long Fei to rush out of their encirclement. Crack! Blood spurted out from their waists, and their bodies were split into two halves. Crack, crack, crack. All 8 of the elite disciples had their waists cut, and they were all instantly killed. The system continuously beeped 8 times. Long Fei didn't care about it, he continued to rush out. Although these 8 disciples could not be considered strong disciples, they were still elites. Their cultivation were all at the Virtual Immortal stage, and even if one of them could not defeat Long Fei, the 8 of them would definitely be able to tie with Long Fei. However, Long Fei had killed 8 of them in one move, which caused the scalps of many disciples in martial arts arena to go numb. Furthermore, all 8 of them had their waists cut off, and fresh blood flowed all over the ground. Ouyang Zhon was not angry because of the death of the 8 of them. Instead, he was happy. "Long Fei, you've killed so many innocent people, it'll be hard for you to escape today even if you have wings." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei said as he ran, "Ouyang Zhon, you better not anger me, or else I'll kill you." It was extremely disdainful, simply not putting Ouyang Zhon in its eyes. Ouyang Zhon's face turned sinister. He laughed coldly and said, "Kill me? Let's see how strong you are, and whether or not you can become the enemy of the entire God Emperor Academy." So what if it's the entire God Emperor Academy? "I'm not afraid of the whole world, come if you have the guts," Long Fei said arrogantly. At this moment, he felt that the side of the competition stage. With a loud shout, he shouted, "1,000. The 5 women turned their heads and looked at Long Fei, who was standing outside the boundary. Immediately, their hearts were set. Their previously flustered expressions were now gone. What replaced them was calmness, and the increase in their strength. Because Long Fei had come. Their pillar of support had arrived. Xiong Feng looked at Long Fei, who was outside of the boundary, sneered sinisterly, and said, "Who have come from Nantian region, watch from the outside. Watch how I tear your woman's clothes one by one, and then fiercely insert them into their bodies. It's as if they're still virgins. You just stay outside and watch." He was extremely pleased with himself. The 5 of them had obscene smiles on their faces. The suppressed rage in Long Fei's heart began to burn crazily, and he immediately cursed out in rage, "F***ck your ancestors." The power on his arm surged as he roared loudly, "Boundary, break for me, godly arm." Mountain hit fists. With the strength of both fists, he directly punched forward, smashing onto Boundary, causing a strong gust of wind to blow across Boundary's calm lake. Wave after wave. And it was also at this moment that the powerful energy in the formation Boundary suddenly rebounded and directly blasted Long Fei away. Rumble. Bam. Long Fei was sent flying 100 meters away, heavily smashing onto the ground. He spat out a mouthful of blood. "Ha ha ha. This brat is really retarded. He actually went to attack the Boundary. Is his head full of shit? Brat, use more strength. Ha ha ha. This old man is going to die from laughter. Bomb Boundary formation? Is he crazy?" Array Boundary was not something that could be broken simply by relying on strength. It was a type of array that required one to destroy the array core in order to break it. It was almost impossible. Long Fei crawled up, and once again rushed forward. With one leap, he looked down from above, and with both fists, he shouted, "Roar! Roar!" The violent diamond ape roared furiously in the air. The power of the battle axe smashed down onto the top of Boundary heavily. Like an object falling from high in the sky, the Boundary was suppressed by the powerful impact. The expressions of everyone in the martial arts practice grounds changed. Isn't this strength too abnormal? What kind of power is this? To think that it could actually suppress the Boundary to such a state. However, after being pressed down by Boundary for half a second, an extremely strong backlash burst out from Boundary, hitting him one by one. Boom. Long Fei was like a cannonball as he was blasted into the sky. Ha ha ha. So what if his strength is strong? He was still blown away by the impact. What use is that? Trash is trash. Long Fei's figure disappeared into the sky. Completely gone. However, in the sky, Long Fei clenched his teeth, thinking about the people from Boundary, Linglong and the others. The anger in his heart surged. "I don't believe it. Little Li Fei, raging blade. Ah." Chapter 917, Breaking Boundary. Chapter 917, Breaking Boundary. At the same time Long Fei was blasted into the sky and disappeared, inside the Boundary. Xiong Feng took a step forward, looked lecherously at Song Qianqian and the rest of the 5, and said with a smile, "Long Fei is just an idiot. He simply doesn't know that the stronger the power the Boundary is under, the stronger the antiphasic force. Now it's your turn, ha ha ha." Xiong Feng laughed obscenely. Aside from Man Tuoluo, most of the people's clothes were torn. It was also at this time. Man Tuoluo suddenly walked out and said, "I'm ready." Song Qianqian's heart relaxed, and he exhaled deeply, and then took a step back and said, "Everything will be up to you now." Han Shueji reminded, "We have to make them lose immediately. I'm worried that Long Fei will really split Boundary apart. When that happens, this competition will be treated as our loss." Xiao Ying also said, "Miss, quickly. If Long Fei really blasted Boundary into the fighting arena, he would definitely go berserk, and the dead zone would tear Xiong Feng's head off. At that time, even if they win, they would be sentenced to lose. Because he was a team competition. It was their team competition. If Long Fei came, it would be 6 people. They had no doubt that Long Fei being able to defeat the Boundary was just a matter of time. At this moment, suddenly, someone shouted, "Look at the sky. The phantom of a dragon. What's that?" "It's a blade, and, there's another person." Many people raised their heads to look over. A dragon-shaped saber chi wrapped around the dragon Salya. The dragon Salya quickly shuttled back and forth, cutting through the air. Not far behind the dragon Salya, there was a person. His fists were shining with a golden light. This was the glory of a holy artifact. A mutated monarch glove. And also the peak strength of the mountain hit fist. That person is Long Fei. Damn, he's still alive. The backlash from the boundary was able to turn any virtual immortal stage martial artist into ashes. But he's not dead yet. He hasn't given up yet. This person is really stupid. Why is he fighting with an unbreakable boundary? Doesn't he know that the stronger the impact, the stronger the rebound? What a brainless person. In the sky, a saber and a person came crashing down vertically. Unstoppable. Linglong said, "The senior brother is coming. Hurry up." Xiong Feng sneered and shouted, "Brothers, it's time, strip them of all their clothes, and let us experience their naked bodies, ha ha ha." The 5 of them rushed out. Man Tuoluo muttered some words, her body released a special kind of aura, her aura was colorless and formless, but like a ghost, it crazily rushed into Xiong Feng and the others' breaths. Ghost door. Undead descent. Devour to your heart's content. The look in Man Tuoluo's eyes suddenly changed drastically. The power of the poison spirit immortal root in his body burst forth, controlling the poison that was being sucked into Xiong Feng's body. At this moment, Xiong Feng immediately knelt on the ground, his hands clutching his throat as his body twisted. His face was turning black, and from his mouth and nose, black smoke crazily floated out from his eyes. It was as if his pupils had been swallowed and turned into black holes. No, no! A mad, miserable scream rang out. It was like seeing the most terrifying scene in the world. In just 2 seconds, Xiong Feng, who was initially defenseless, turned back into a human body, curled up into a ball, and after trembling a few times, died. The other 4 people were the same. Dead. It was also at this time that Man Tuoluo's body grew limp and his entire face paled. He fell backwards and fainted. Miss Xiao Ying immediately supported her. It was too strange. In less than 3 seconds, Xiong Feng and the other 4 were instantly killed. This was the time that Song Chanxian and the rest fought for Man Tuoluo, and it was also when Man Tuoluo exploded his full strength. Her poison was deadly. He won. The entire audience was stunned. Ouyang Zhon's face turned ugly. However, Long Fei didn't notice this. "You can't break it, right? I want to see just how strong you are." He did not notice that Xiong Feng's group of 5 was cured by Man Tuoluo's poison and continued to fiercely attack. Unstoppable. Just like a comet. Everyone in the martial arts arena was dumbfounded. Crap, boss doesn't know about the situation in Boundary, this time. It's over. The power that he released this time was even stronger, the backlash from the Boundary was even stronger, he would definitely be killed from the backlash. Crazy, truly crazy. Some were shocked, and some even laughed as they watched Long Fei's heavy blow fall down. For example, Pan Zhon. For example, Ouyang Zhon and the dozen or so elders were all laughing. Everyone knew that the stronger the force that struck the Boundary, the stronger the force that rebounded back in the Boundary. There was only one consequence for Long Fei to be able to withstand the force. Die. Looking at Long Fei who had descended from the skies, Song Chanxian's face changed greatly as he said in a loud voice, "Long Fei, we've won, we've won. Senior brother, don't attack Boundary." Long Fei simply could not hear their voices. Even if he heard it, he had no way to retract his power right now. Once he retracted his power, the recoil would be even more violent. It was even more powerful than the Boundary. "Ah! Break for me!" Long Fei roared, and released his power. The dragon Salya stabbed at the Boundary. Ouyang Zhon couldn't help but laugh out loud, "Idiot. Brainless. He's going to die soon." The power of the Boundary was unbreakable, and the Boundary on the stage was trying to prevent the strong energy from leaking out and injuring the surrounding disciples, so its defense was extremely strong. An existence that couldn't be destroyed at all. Just when they were watching Long Fei make a fool of himself, when they all thought that Long Fei was a fool, when they were all laughing out loud complacently. Crack. A crack appeared on the Boundary as the dragon Salya's tip slightly pierced through the Boundary. The black dragon ancestor inside the dragon Salya roared, and the dragon Salia ate another half of it. Crack. A series of cracks in the ice could be heard, but it did not completely break the boundary. In that instant, Long Fei came crashing down. His fists moved. Emperor Punch. The mutated Emperor's boxing glove, which was several times stronger than normal, was thrown out and heavily smashed into the dragon Salia's hilt. Break. He gave the order. Long Fei's fists struck down. The dragon Salia pierced through the entire body of the sword like a hot knife through butter. At the same time, the barrier of the boundary cracked like a spider web. Rumble. In just half a second, the boundary was shattered. It disappeared with a hum. It was also at this moment that Long Fei came crashing down. Move against my woman, I will kill you all. The scene was simply too shocking. The entire martial arts training ground instantly quieted down, as if they were all looking at a monster. Chapter 9:18 My Boss. Chapter 9:18 My Boss Too Abnormal. The boundary was destroyed. Was this person even more freakishly powerful than him? Martial arts arena was completely silent, even his head was numb. A virtual immortal stage warrior had broken through boundary. This person was completely crazy. Just now, Ouyang Zhon was mocking Long Fei. Pan Zhon mocked Long Fei. Most of the people in martial arts arena were laughing at him, but what about now? They felt that they were the ones who were dumb, retarded, and retarded. Long Fei used his power to give them a fierce slap on the face, and it was the loudest slap ever. As long as you do it, anything is possible. Even in the face of the impossible, it was still possible. Dao Bai's eyes trembled. His heart was filled with incomparable worship as he loudly shouted, "Boss is mighty." Hei Shan, One-Eyed, Baldy, and the others all stood up and shouted loudly, "Boss is overbearing." At this moment, they couldn't find any words to describe the excitement in their hearts, so they could only shout out loud and scream, venting out their displeasure to their heart's content. Who's the F** king trash now? Who's F** king retarded? Who's retarded? What do you guys know? They shouted loudly. Some of them were all excited, and that feeling was indescribable. In their hearts, they were all worshipping Long Fei. It was too good to follow such a big boss. Too handsome. With their shouts, the silent martial arts practice grounds began to boil. What was that just now? Is he really a virtual immortals stage cultivator? What's his name? I want to buy him. I'll buy him no matter how much it costs. Nantian region, the people of Nantian region are actually this strong. His name is Long Fei. He wouldn't be the former super strong overlord of the gods' martial continent, the one who crushed over 100 super ancient family, right? Back then Pan family had been completely crushed by Long family to the point where he could not even breathe. He's too handsome. If I were a woman, I would definitely fall in love with him. The entire audience was boiling, and was ignited by the burst of energy released from Long Fei's body. Everyone was excited. The shock brought by Long Fei was simply too soul-stirring. Long Fei looked at Xiong Feng who was on the stage, scratched his head and asked awkwardly, "They are all dead?" He thought he could save the girl with a hero. However, it was also at this time. Song Qianqian walked forward, her eyes calm, and walked to Long Fei and suddenly kissed him. She did not know how to express her excitement. His heart was moved. She couldn't find a word to describe it. Never. There had never been a man who had lived life and death for her, and there had never been someone who treated her like Long Fei before. It was directly taken down by Long Fei. Hugging Long Fei's neck, she fiercely kissed him. At the same time, her tears flowed profusely as tears streamed down her face. After kissing her, she said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." The two words that kept saying thank you made Long Fei a little confused. However, Song Qianqian suddenly went up to kiss him. Long Fei did not know how to react. His body felt as though it had been electrocuted, and he stood rooted to the spot. It was only when he saw Song Qianqian's tears that Long Fei managed to react. Gently wiping the tears off her face, Long Fei said, "Don't be like this, there's a lot of people watching." Song Qianqian didn't care how many people were watching her. She laid on Long Fei's shoulder and fiercely bit his shoulder. Long Fei was in great pain. But inside he was happy. About that. I didn't have the time to react just now. Why don't we do it again now? Long Fei became evil. Just now was too fast, and too sudden, he could not react at all. When he came back to his senses, he realized that there was a sweet taste in his mouth. Song Qianqian glared at him and said, "You wish." At this moment, Hualala. The crowd went into an uproar. Countless young men and women were heartbroken. Countless young girls were screaming because this scene was too exciting. The scene of countless young girls dreaming in their hearts. It was enough to make people jealous and envious. So handsome. It seems that a man can treat me like this, regardless of his life or death to save me. You can fall. With your 300 jin body, who would save you? You won't even make it out in time. Damn, my first goddess is gone just like that. Everyone was in an uproar. Although Long Fei did not do anything, he did not care about the backlash brought by the boundary, and he did not fear life and death. It made the people around Long Fei even more excited. Because there was a man who risked his life for them. He was proud of having such a big boss. Outside the stage, Aoya looked at Long Fei. She was moved to such a state. At this moment, her heart was intoxicated. Long Fei, is this your charm? At this moment, boom. There was a loud bang above stage of powder-making competition, and the space between Shu Tianhe's eyebrows loosened. He started laughing maniacally from excitement. The 9-dragon pill was successfully refined. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, come and die quickly. His voice shook. It was also at this time. Ouyang Zhon's eyes lit up and he immediately started laughing complacently. Long Fei, if you are willing to bet, you have to admit your loss, and give me your life. The dozen or so principal powerhouses also became excited. If not for Shu Tianhe's success in alchemy, they would have forgotten about this matter. So what if he saved arrogant Dragon Squad? Alchemy had lost his life, and they only wanted Long Fei's life. Ha ha ha. Let's see how you still act arrogant. Alchemy competition is about your life. Kid, it's time for your death. Many people clamored. S complexion had also improved a little. Just now, when Long Fei had broken boundary, he had felt a strong sense of pressure, especially from the surrounding people's discussions. Long family's history of crushing Pan family into a dog caused him to be extremely unhappy. A disciple of the Long family could cause such a sensation. S heart turned sinister. No matter what, I can't let Long Fei live. Long Fei took a step forward and stared at Ouyang Zhon, laughed coldly, and said, "Are you so sure that I will lose?" Song Qianqian pulled Long Fei's hand, and said in a low voice, "Long Fei, let's escape." The other 4 women also walked over and said, "Senior brother, we." Without waiting for them to finish speaking, Long Fei smiled lightly and said, "Rest assured, the things that happened today will never happen again. I will absolutely not let you take the risk again." Finished. He lightly pulled out his arm, raised it in the air, and stepped onto the stage of powder-making competition. He stared at Shu Tianhe and said, "Once I refine the 9-dragon pill, I will definitely win." Ha ha. Shu Tianhe laughed sinisterly. "Is there any medicine stronger than 9-dragon pill in this world? Kid. I said it already, you will die today. I will kill you with my own hands." Shu Tianhe laughed complacently. Long Fei sneered, and said, "Don't worry, I will also personally kill you. My boss." Who lost? Who won? Who lost? Who won? The smell of gunpowder was overwhelming. On stage of powder-making competition, Long Fei stared at Shu Tianhe. Shu Tianhe also looked at Long Fei. The distance between them was less than 5 meters, but the thick smell of gunpowder wafted out. Ouyang Zhon respectfully said, "Fairy Hall Elder, please judge." He did not dare to be disrespectful to Fairy Hall Elder in the slightest. The 8 elders of the Palace Question of God stood up, their faces expressionless, and walked over to the stage of powder-making competition. At this moment, everyone's attention was on the 8 of them, and they all started to feel nervous. Who will win? Damn, is that even necessary? Of course Principal Shu can win. He is God Emperor Academy's #1 alchemist. He has never lost in alchemy before. Isn't that Long Fei going to die? He's bound to lose. Fu Shishan and the others were secretly worried. The one competing with Long Fei was none other than the #1 alchemist of the God Emperor Academy, the Shu Tianhe who had never lost. More importantly, the 9-dragon pill was known as the #1 divine pill of the gods' martial continent, an existence that could not be surpassed. A 9-dragon pill refined from 9 holy herbs, an existence that was unmatched. It was impossible for Long Fei to win. Dao Ba said, "Hey Shan, one-eyed, baldy, if boss loses later, we will immediately cause some trouble and cause chaos." Understood. To create chaos, only then would Long Fei be able to escape from this chaos. Black Knife were also linked to the long blade in the black box. Looking at his unconscious daughter in his arms, he placed all his hope on Long Fei. The atmosphere was tense. Song Qianqian and the others also made their preparations. Ouyang Zhon also explained a bit, then said, "No matter what, we cannot let Long Fei escape." In his opinion, in this competition of powder-making competition, Long Fei was definitely going to lose. Long Fei will definitely not accept his fate and will definitely resist. At that time, Ouyang Zhon sneered, "See how I'll kill you." The undercurrents surged. Their hearts hung at their throats as they stared at stage of powder-making competition without moving. He felt as if a great war was about to break out. The 8 Fairy Hall Elders first observed the 9-dragon pill Shu Tianhe had refined, and the expression on their faces were all extremely shocked, with shock that they were unable to conceal. Shu Tianhe was very proud. Looking at their expressions, he knew that he had one. A Fairy Hall Elder suddenly asked, "Are you selling this 9-dragon pill? I bid 1,000 immortal crystals." The moment he said that, the entire martial arts practice field was in an uproar. What did 1,000 immortal crystals mean? If it was exchanged into a fairy stones, wouldn't it become a mountain? 1,000 immortal crystals are, what does that mean? My God, even Fairy Hall Elder wants this pellet. The 9-dragon pill is too powerful. This time Long Fei will lose without a doubt, without any suspense. Ha ha ha. Let's see if this brat still dares to be arrogant. Let's see how he will continue being arrogant this time. Many people were looking forward to Long Fei making a fool of himself, hoping to see a good show. Shu Tianhe slightly said, "Thank you, Master. It's just that the ingredients for this pill were provided by the great clan elder of the Pan family. I am unable to make a decision." Pan Zhon immediately stood up and said, "Since an elder has spoken, how can I let you spend the money? This 9-dragon pill will be directly given to you." The Fairy Hall Elder immediately laughed and said, "Then I'll have to thank Elder Pan." Following that Fairy Hall Elder immediately announced, and said, "There's no need to continue the competition. Shu Tianhe wins. No pill can surpass this 9-dragon pill. Kid, you've lost. Accept your fate." He didn't even look at the pellet Long Fei had refined to say that Long Fei had lost. It wasn't because he was biased, but because the 9-dragon pill was really too strong. It was an existence that no pill could match. Shu Tianhe immediately laughed complacently, and said, "Long Fei, give me your life." Long Fei sneered coldly, and said arrogantly, "Everyone says that the palace question of God elders are powerful, but seeing it today is indeed extraordinary. Even without looking, you all know that I have lost. I would like to ask, you all are just a bunch of trash. Palace question of God? TSK, it's just SOSO. He directly pointed at the Fairy Hall Elders' noses and cursed. At this moment, Long Fei was very unhappy. Regardless of whether they were biased or not, Long Fei was not in a good mood. A Fairy Hall Elder immediately shouted, "Brat, you dare insult Palace question of God, are you courting death?" Long Fei grinned and said, "Your mother isn't here. If your mother was, I would even dare to insult your mother. I think all of you are blind. You're just a bunch of conceited old fogies." The chi on the elder's body roiled, and a thick pressure instantly came crushing down. "Gold dragon," Long Fei shouted in his heart. Jin Long replied easily, "Understood." The pressure was instantly blocked. Long Fei sneered, and said, "Did I say something wrong? You guys didn't even look at it before saying that I have lost, so what if I insult your palace question of God? Are you unhappy? Not good, come bite me." The Fairy Hall Elder's eyes were filled with anger. Just as he was about to charge forward, he was stopped by another Fairy Hall elder. He smiled faintly as he looked at Long Fei. "We did not test your pills because there are no pills comparable to those 9 dragon pills." Without waiting for him to finish, Long Fei immediately interrupted him and said, "That's because you all think, I don't think so your palace question of God isn't really that good either." Ignorant and ignorant. He was looking down on the Fairy Hall elder. He was just playing with fire and setting himself on fire. There was a limit to being arrogant, but he dared to be so arrogant in front of Fairy Hall elder. He was simply courting death. Long Fei was just like that. The higher you are, the more arrogant he will be, and he will trample you to death with the most arrogant attitude. The expressions of the 8 Fairy Hall elders all darkened. Shu Tianhe shouted, and said, "Brat, you dare to speak to Fairy Hall elder like that, are you seeking death?" Long Fei pointed at Shu Tianhe's nose and cursed, "Scram to the side, I don't have time to care about you right now, stand obediently to the side, I'll come back later to kill you." It was also at this time. A Fairy Hall elder said coldly, "Let me see how strong your pills are." Finished. He took a step forward and looked at the black, unassuming pellet on the table. The idea moved, and used his strength to sense it. At this moment, his entire body froze, his brows locked tighter and tighter, unable to utter a single word. "Elder Wu, what's the situation?" Seeing his expression, another clan elder walked over, his idea moved slightly, and in that moment, it was as if his body was struck by lightning, his eyes darkened. He was also unable to say a word. What was going on? Another Fairy Hall elder walked up. "What are you two doing? Wasn't it just an ordinary pill? No matter how strong you are, there can never be a 9 dragon pill." Not waiting for him to finish. His pupils constricted and his face turned aghast. He couldn't say a word. The remaining 5 people walked up together. The moment their idea moved, they were all stunned in an instant. It was also at this time. Carrying the dragon Salia on his shoulder, Long Fei walked to Shu Tianhe's side with a deathly smile. Chapter 920 Ahat. Chapter 920 Ahat. The 8 elders of the palace question of God stared at a pill in a daze. His eyes glazed over, and he was so shocked that he couldn't say a word. On the other hand, Long Fei walked to Shu Tianhe's side with a sinister sneer while carrying a dragon Salia on his shoulder, and said, "I said I would kill you with my own hands." Shu Tianhe said in disdain, "Brat, you think you've won? The one who wins is me. No one can refine a pill stronger than the 9 dragon pill, no one." Although the 8 Fairy Hall elder were all shocked, Shu Tianhe believed that the one who would win in the end would definitely be him. Moreover, the 8 Fairy Hall elders had all been bribed by the Pan family, so it was impossible for them to declare that he had lost. No matter what, he would win this battle. Long Fei grinned from ear to ear and said, "It's true that there's no one here, but I am a god." As soon as he finished, Long Fei yelled out, "Announce the result." The 8 Fairy Hall elders regained their composure and looked at each other in dismay. Their hearts were very excited, incomparably excited, because the pills Long Fei had refined made them feel as if they had seen something from another world. Very powerful. The shock he felt in his heart was indescribable. An elder looked excited, and asked, "Long Fei, how did you refine this pill? What is this pill called? What kind of technique was it? Why? A small pill seems to be stronger than an entire world." They couldn't help but want to know. Long Fei said, "Do you want to know? If you want to know, then make the results public. I'll let you know later." What Long Fei wanted to do now was to kill this boss, Shu Tianhe. There was an impatient look on his face. It was not only because Shu Tianhe was a boss, but also because there was an exclamation mark above his head. It was useless to click it, and there was no quest triggered. If that wasn't the case, then there was only one way. Kill him. Long Fei muttered in his heart, "I want to see what exactly this boss is hiding." The 8 of them narrowed their eyes. Pan Zhong slowly stood up. Ouyang Zhong's expression also tightened. The entire martial arts arena looked at the 8 elders, waiting for their announcement. It was as if his heartbeat could be heard clearly. The result of their declaration was the same as a death sentence. The 8 of them lowered their heads in disgust. One of the fairy hall elder looked at Pan Zhong and slowly said, Shu Tianhe. When Shu Tianhe heard his name, he immediately became excited and started laughing complacently. I won, ha ha ha. Long Fei, you prepare to die. He hadn't finished his happiness yet. The elder continued, defeat. Shu Tianhe, defeated. Long Fei wins. Shu Tianhe's expression also instantly distorted, his smile became extremely stiff and unsightly, as if he had been slapped 18 times in a row. Impossible. It's absolutely impossible. No one can compare to my 9 dragon pill, and I won't lose. You must have made a mistake, you must have been wrong. Shu Tianhe's voice trembled slightly. However, the dragon Salia on Long Fei's shoulder moved, grinning from ear to ear. Shu Tianhe, go and die. Boom. The black dragon ancestor within the dragon Salia roared and soared into the sky. Long Fei was enraged. Dark dragon god slash. It hacked down towards the top of Shu Tianhe's head. Explode for me. Shu Tianhe's cultivation was above Long Fei's, but he was currently in a state of panic, and he never expected Long Fei to actually dare attack him. He was the principal of the elixir martial arts branch, his status was high and mighty. Who would dare to touch him? Let alone a student, even Green Dragon Hegumen would not dare to touch him. Thus, he wasn't prepared. When he saw Long Fei's blade slash down, Shu Tianhe regretted and shouted, Save me, Elder Pan, save me, Green Dragon Hegumen, save me. Ouyang Zhong roared, Long Fei, you dare. With a jolt in the air, a powerful force came crushing down. The disciples of the entire elixir martial arts branch also suddenly stood up. Watching Long Fei's blade slash down, many disciples all roared out loudly, Brat, stop it right now. Pan Zhong also shouted out, Stop. Stop. Ha ha ha. Stop your mother. Long Fei laughed coldly, if you are willing to lose, then explode. Rumble. The unstoppable dark dragon god's blade chi swept out, the blade slashed down and landed on Shu Tianhe's neck. The blade landed, as fresh blood spurted out. Ah! Miserable cries rang out in the void. Long Fei killed with one slash. The system sounded out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Elixir Martial Arts Branch's president Shu Tianhe for obtaining 300,000 experience, 12,000 power of celestial and 10 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the 9 dragon pills recipe. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 120 spirit dance. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining meteorite powder tripod. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 3 immortal crystals, 123 fairy stones. Ding. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for triggering the 18 Arhat quest. Are you sure you want to accept? Mission: subdue the 18 Arhats. Time: 1 month. Task reward: 1 million experience points, 30,000 power of celestial. 18 Arhats fused together can trigger the Arhat King Kong. The system beep sounded continuously. Long Fei was a little dazed. 18 Arhats. Arhat King Kong? What is this? The system's description was not very clear. Logically speaking, since the Sword Force King Kong had not finished, there should not be a new mission for the King Kong, but with the appearance of the 18 Arhats, was this the Arhat King Kong? The Arhat quest could only be triggered if the mission was completed. 18 Arhats? How can I complete this task? Long Fei was a little confused. The system did not give him any hints. Suddenly, when he thought about the golden-colored exclamation mark on Shu Tianhe's head, he was shocked. 18 Arhats, the principal of the 18 matrial halls. 18 bosses, ha ha ha. I got it, the 18 Arhats are the principal who killed the 18 matrial halls, ha ha ha. Long Fei's heart started boiling. This is the 18 Arhats. Then blow him all the way. It was also at this time. Yang Huang ancestor swallowed the meteorite powder tripod, and with a satisfied expression, he said, Good stuff, it's too good. At this time, Ouyang Zhong landed heavily on the ground, his eyes was filled with killing intent as he glared at Long Fei and roared, You actually dare to kill the principal? Long Fei, you are too presumptuous. Long Fei sneered and said, Big bro is this impudent, what can you do about it? Heh. Unconvinced. If you can't accept it, then bite me. Ouyang Zhon's killing intent soared to the sky. Chapter 921, Personal Warfare. Chapter 921, Personal Warfare. Ouyang Zhon's killing intent soared to the sky. Long Fei was too arrogant. The anger in his heart was just like Xu Tianhe's, and couldn't be suppressed any longer. It was also at this time. A dozen or so headmasters all landed at the same time, all staring at Long Fei with killing intent. Long Fei also looked at them one by one. He was not afraid, but he revealed an excited smile. You want to go up together? Come on. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Let's attack together. Long Fei started to feel good in his heart. It's best if we go together, and finish the principle of the remaining 17 College of Martial Arts trainings together. That way, we can complete the mission of the 18 Arhats. It was also at this time. A Fairy Hall elder coughed lightly and said, willing to admit defeat, this kid did not do anything wrong. If you have to blame Xu Tianhe for being useless. A dignified elixir martial arts branch principal's alchemy can't even compare up to a student's, he deserves death. Another Fairy Hall elder said in disdain. Ouyang Zhon's gaze darkened, and the anger in his heart was immediately suppressed by these two words. He said, Elder, blatantly killing the College of Martial Arts Training's principal, this has a huge impact on the God Emperor Academy. If word of this gets out, it will affect the reputation of the Academy. Humph. If you still care about the reputation of the Academy, then you should be fair to us. Don't think that we don't know anything. An elder snorted coldly. Ouyang Zhon immediately no longer dared to speak. He looked at Pan Zhon from the corner of his eyes. At this time, Pan Zhon had already sat down. Didn't these Fairy Hall elder get bribed by them? Why did he speak up for Long Fei at this time? He was confused. Let alone them, even Pan Zhon had just figured it out, because Pan Sheng told them through sound transmission. It was also because of this that they were willing to defend Long Fei. As for why, they did not know either, and probably only Pan Sheng knew. Long Fei wasn't sure either. However, he now thought that it was the Supreme God's intention, his two eyes looking at the sky, his heart sneering, it seems like you really do not wish for anything to happen to me. If it weren't for Supreme God's order, who would dare do such a thing? Long Fei felt that the Supreme God was more treacherous than ever, but he started to laugh coldly in his heart. Since that's the case, then I will make good use of you. Let's see what your limit is. Long Fei looked at Ouyang Zhon and said, did you hear that? If you're not satisfied, then come and fight. Ouyang Zhon's gaze turned sinister as he said, Brat, do you think I'm afraid of you? With a level of cultivation at the 7th stage of the Golden Immortal Realm, what was there to be afraid of? What a joke. Long Fei carefully looked at the top of Ouyang Zhon's head, but there was no golden exclamation mark, which meant that the second person who was going to kill wasn't him. It was the same for the remaining 16, as none of them appeared above Xu Tianhe. Wait. Suddenly, Long Fei saw the exclamation mark that was floating above the head of one of the principals at the back of the crowd. His gaze tensed up slightly as he thought to himself, Rosefinch Martial Art College principal, Liu Changkong. The corners of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. Long Fei looked at Ouyang Zhon and said, if you aren't afraid of me, then come. I didn't flip through your 4 matrial halls last time. Wasn't there someone who wanted the Rosefinch blood vessels Linglong to kneel? Wasn't there someone trying to kill Linglong and steal the blood vein from her body? That guy, come out. I'll start with you. Long Fei stared at Liu Changkong and bellowed. Liu Changkong was furious. The spirit chi on his body burst forth, and he shouted, Long Fei, there must be a limit to your arrogance. Don't think that just because you can cut down boundary, your alchemy will be able to be so unbridled on our 4 matrial halls. You don't have the qualifications to do so. You don't even have the qualifications for me to attack. You want to fight me? In the individual battle 2 days from now, if you have the ability, you will be number 1. You can challenge anyone from the God Emperor Academy. Liu Changkong said coldly, at that time, I will let you know the difference between heaven and earth. The first place in the individual battle allowed one to easily challenge others. If he wins, then you can take whatever position he has. Which means, if Long Fei wins the Elder, he will be able to obtain the position of God Emperor Academy Elder, and if he wins the Principal, then he will be the Principal. If he could win against the 18 Principals, then he is Dean. Long Fei grinned, and said slightly, "Understood, then wash my ass clean for me, ha ha ha." Finished. Long Fei walked down the stage of powder-making competition without looking back. Extremely savage. Liu Changkong coldly snorted, "Then we'll see how you die." Long Fei took the ancestral dragon pill and walked down the stage of powder-making competition. The 17 principals watched him leave, and the 8 Fairy Hall Elders watched him leave. The entire martial arts practice field, especially the spectators, were all boiling with excitement. Too cool. So handsome that it dropped to the ground. My heart can feel that he is dancing on the scythe of the god of death. To dare to challenge the 18th Dean, to dare challenge the Fairy Hall Elder, just how strong is Long Fei? Is this the people from the Nantian region? Is this the people from the Long family? Countless people had been subdued by the savagery on Long Fei's body. Watching him fight was an indescribable pleasure. How did you refine your pill? Why does that medicinal pill possess the power of the entire world? Long Fei, you haven't answered our questions. A few Fairy Hall Elders asked loudly. Long Fei didn't even turn his head around, nor did he pay any attention to him. In 3 days, this pellet will appear in the auction of Fengyuan Business Alliance. I will let you know when the time comes. Auction? The auction of the Fengyuan Business Alliance. Immediately get me a ticket, I'll definitely buy this pill. Even Fairy Hall Elder is panic-stricken by this pill. It's even more powerful than 1,000 immortal crystals worth of 9 dragon pills. Even if I can't afford it, I want to take a look. All of a sudden, Fengyuan Business Alliance appeared in everyone's vision once again. Fu Shishan was secretly grateful in his heart. At the same time, she secretly planned in her mind. Since Long Fei caused a sensation today, then she should be able to release the second step, the Zhuge sword fragment. In another place. Palace Question of God. Within the Supreme God's secret room, 19 phantoms stood there and said, "Supreme God, I really don't understand. Didn't you say that you wanted to teach Long Fei a lesson? Why?" He did not understand why he did not stop Long Fei from killing Shu Tianhe. He did not understand why the 8 Fairy Hall Elders announced Long Fei's victory. This wasn't a suppression at all. Supreme God smiled slightly. Personal qualifying fight is the key, you will know about it in the future. Chapter 922, Person Who Will Immediately Die. Chapter 922, Person Who Will Immediately Die. The day's competition had ended. When the arrogant dragon squad entered the top 16, the 4 great contest would be held there. The following matches were the main focus. Only then would they collide with the super teams of the Azure Dragon, Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, and White Tiger. At that time, it would definitely be extremely difficult. Moreover, what happened on the stage today was somewhat unexpected for Long Fei. He did not expect the people from the 18 matrial halls to be so sinister and despicable. I can't let them take the risk again. But now, Chen Tianfei and the others were still recovering. Other than Song Qianxian and the others, Long Fei did not have any extra hands. Returning to his residence. Before Long Fei could even take a seat, an order was transmitted over. Long Fei, tomorrow's alchemy competition will continue as usual. You are not allowed to miss, if not, you will be deemed to have lost. Sun Datu immediately asked, didn't Long Fei win against Shu Tianhe? Who else could be stronger than him with his alchemy? The disciple said, Shu Tianhe and Long Fei's alchemy competition can only guarantee that he will enter tomorrow's competition, and did not say that he will get first place. I am only responsible for sending the message. If you all want to ask Green Dragon Hegemon. Finished. The disciple turned around and left. Sun Datu immediately shouted, this is bullying. That is not what I said on stage, isn't this bullying? Fan Tong said, in order to suppress us, what can't they do? Is what happened today fair? How did the God Emperor Academy become like this? Aoya also frowned, saying, the entire God Emperor Academy is targeting Long Fei. Long Fei, why don't we withdraw from the competition? Aoya said lightly. That was the first day, and there were still 2 more days to go before they knew what would happen. Long Fei and Arrogant Dragon Squad had a difficult time every time they took a step forward. Ouyang would definitely not let Long Fei win that easily. They simply would not allow Long Fei to win. Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and said, how about we just withdraw from the God Emperor Academy? It's too displeasing to the eye. This kind of academy basically doesn't have the qualifications to become the #1 academy in the immortal domain. It's not even as good as our Dark Domain's Dark Academy. Song Qianqian was very unconvinced. Linglong added, I agree. Man Tuoluo also woke up and said, Long Fei, why don't we go back to the Nantian region with you? Xiao Ying immediately became excited and said, good, return to Nantian region, ha ha ha. Yes. Returning to the Nantian region, I'm not suffering here. Linglong also said. They all wanted to see what kind of place the Nantian region, which Long Fei lived in, was like, and they all wanted to see what kind of family it was. Nantian region. Long Fei muttered. His heart slightly sank as he said, Nantian region must return, but not now. Nantian region was also known as the Trashland, but there were no changes. If he wanted to change everyone's opinion, the only way would be to win all the way and destroy 18 material halls and use his own strength to prove everything. Also, he still had too many things to accomplish. The 18 Arhat missions in front of him, Aoya had yet to be tamed. The Sword Force King Kong, Arrogant Knife King Kong, and Arhat King Kong had yet to return. His father. He did not even understand all these. How could it be the Nantian region? What right did he have to go back? He had come with the mission of rising to the Nantian region. What face did he have to go back if he failed to accomplish anything? He hadn't even seen his father, so what if he went to see his grandfather? We have to figure this out before we go back. Although Long Fei wanted to return to the Nantian region all the time, a man must have a sense of responsibility. Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and said, the following matches will definitely still be against you at every turn. I'm worried about you. Everyone looked at Long Fei. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, the more they target me, the stronger I get. The more they can't target me, the crazier they will go. Don't worry, I will definitely endure everything. He would absolutely not admit defeat. The Jedi would not bow their heads. There was no such word as surrender, escape in his dictionary. Aoya. Long Fei looked at Aoya and said, I'll have to trouble you to make a trip to God's Phoenix Pavilion so that you can make some preparations so that you can release the message that a Zhuge sword fragment will appear at the auction. Also, Long Fei took out a bottle and a pill formula from his bosom. There are Destiny Changer S in here. Let Drug Race Elders get used to it first. I want all of these 2 Gods General S to buy as many as they can. Also, the auction venue must not be too big. There's no need for too many seats, just 100. This is the hunger marketing. The price for each seat is set at 100 fairy stones. Long Fei slowly said. Oya nodded and said, okay, I will go right now. Aoya quickly left. Following that, Long Fei took out a few level 2 variant crystal nucleus and said, these are variant crystal nucleu, they will allow you all to raise your cultivations in a short period of time. Don't worry about its value, I have plenty. Long Fei handed over the mutated immortal crystals. The Ming Gods General was a fierce battle, so Long Fei didn't have enough preparations in the past. You can all cultivate. Long Fei said as he walked towards Qiu Wandao's courtyard. The battle on the first day of Arrogant Dragon Squad was too arduous. Long Fei did not want these girls to take any more risks, he only hoped that Chen Tianfei and the rest could recover quickly. Pan Family Hall. Green Dragon Matrial Hall, White Tiger Kung Fu Tribe, Rosefinch Martial Art College, and the Black Tortoise College of Martial Arts Training were all standing in the Great Hall with displeased expressions on their faces. Xu Tianha's death had made them all feel great. Because they had agreed on everything, but now they were being used as guns. Ouyang said, Elder Pan, You must give an explanation for today's matter. It is Xu Tianhe who has died today, so there is a possibility that we will be the ones to die tomorrow. They were well aware of the power of the Pan family. They knew that the 8 Fairy Hall Elder S had been bribed by the Pan family S, but why did Xu Tianhe get betrayed at such a crucial time? Pan Zhong said with a slight smile, "For headmasters, don't be anxious. Xu Tianhe's death was indeed an accident, and I also received the information at that time." Xiao Tianwu asked, "Information? What kind of information?" Pan Zhong laughed and said, "I can't say this, but I can assure you that Long Fei will definitely die, and that he will die from personal qualifying fight. In tomorrow's competition, all of you will continue to target Long Fei, weakening his strength and strength. It would be even better if he could kill a few of the people around him. It doesn't matter if he can't do it. In any case, in terms of personal qualifying fight, he will definitely lose, and he will definitely die." The 4 Dines did not understand. However, seeing Pan Zhong's 100 times reassured expression, their hearts started to become excited. Half an hour later, when the 4 Great Dines left, an elder of the Pan family walked in. "Great Elder, Fengyuan Business Alliance is indeed secretly preparing for the auction, and they just received news that they have obtained Immortal Domain's #1 divine weapon, the Zhuge Sword Fragment. The ancestral dragon pellet that was refined in the God Emperor Academy will also appear at the auction. Do we need to prepare anything?" Pan Zhong laughed coldly, and said, "Long Fei, do you want to fight back decisively? Temph, someone who is about to die, I want to see how you will retaliate." Chapter 923, Fatty coming out. Chapter 923, Fatty coming out. Long Fei was the absolute core of everything. As long as they killed him, the matter with him as the core would be easily resolved. Fengyuan Business Alliance. Arrogant Dragon Squad. His Nantian region. All of these would be trampled and blown away by the Pan family, so Pan Zhong was not in a rush to deal with the Fengyuan Business Alliance, and did not even think about dealing with Fu Shishan at all. As long as they could kill Long Fei, nothing would be a problem. Pan Zhong believed that in 2 days, Long Fei would definitely die in the arena at the hands of his Pan family disciples. "Ha ha ha. Long Fei, just you wait," Pan Zhong laughed out loud. At the same time, inside Qiu Wandao's courtyard, it was still a pile of ruins. However, beneath the rubble was a private room. Buzz. Boom. A dull sound of energy clashing could be heard. Following that, a thick layer of defensive energy that was like a mountain burst out, causing Chen Tianfei's arms to sink. Wang. His body stood there like a mountain. Qiu Wandao slightly nodded and said, "You can go now." "Ha ha ha." Chen Tianfei laughed excitedly. "Thank you, Presbyter Qiu. I can finally get out of seclusion. I almost suffocated to death." He trained in defense, the strongest defense possible. As a result, his internal injuries recovered very quickly, and he was the fastest of the 4. Chen Tianfei looked at Dao Feng behind him and giggled. "Senior brother, you guys do your best, try your best to come out tomorrow." "Ha ha ha." Dao Feng ruthlessly said with contempt. Abnormal. Wang Qingshan muttered, and said, "Are you still human?" Zheng Qingsong said enviously, "Presbyter Qiu, can you release some water? We are more or less recovered too, we are just a little bit away from it." Qiu Wandao immediately said, "No. The 3 of you, hurry up and train." In the yard, Elderly in Green looked at Long Fei, and said, "God Emperor Academy has gone too far with today's matter, you should be even more careful in tomorrow's competition. Also, you must be careful of Palace Question of God's people. They're the most sinister people in the world." Long Fei couldn't help but ask Elderly in Green, "Was my father framed by Palace Question of God's supreme God? Can you tell me where he is now?" Western Devil Lord had said that Long family and Palace Question of God had a blood feud between them, so Western Devil Lord didn't need to joke around with Long Fei on this matter. The Palace Question of God and the Palace Question of God on top of the Immortal Domain had no relationship at all. The only possibility was that these grudges were formed from the enmity between his father and Palace Question of God. In such a long period of time, only his father had ever entered the Immortal Domain. Moreover, Although Long Fei did not have solid evidence that the Supreme God was using him to search for the dragon domain, he was clear in his heart that since he was using himself to search for the dragon domain, then was his father once used by them in this way as well? Elderly in green frowned and said, "There are a lot of things that I am not clear about either, but you are right, Long family and palace question of God have a blood feud. As for where your father is, we don't know either." This was the truth. He indeed did not know where Long Zhanting was. At this time, Qiu Wandao walked out with Fat Men Chen. When Chen Tianfei saw Long Fei, he was incomparably excited and said, "Boss." Long Fei was startled for a moment, then asked, "Presbyter Qiu, how is his recovery going?" Qiu Wandao laughed, "This little fatty is simply abnormal, the holy armor fairy veins power is powerful indeed. Right now, even if it's an ordinary golden immortal rank powerhouse, they shouldn't think of harming him. This guy's defense is just too abnormal." Chen Tianfei laughed complacently, and said, "Let's watch this lord fight in every direction, ha ha ha." Qiu Wandao immediately went up and said, "What the hell do you have to say?" "Pa." Chen Tianfei's head instantly bulged out, causing him to grimace in pain, his hands covering his head. "Presbyter Qiu, can you stop your sneak attack?" Qiu Wandao shouted, "This is your weakness, you have to be on guard and not slack off in the slightest. When you can accomplish this, you will be able to unleash the strongest power of the holy armor fairy vein. There's more. It's true that the with your current defense is unable to do anything, but the headmaster of the 4 matrial halls can easily knock you down. Arrogance is fine, but don't act arrogantly in front of them," Qiu Wandao reminded her. To be able to withstand the attacks of the golden immortal rank powerhouse, that was already abnormal enough. The current arrogant dragon squad was missing a tank. Chen Tianfei's recovery was undoubtedly providing timely assistance, as Long Fei needed him too much right now. Chen Tianfei said, "I got it, Presbyter Qiu, can you not be so mischievous like an old lady? Men should be arrogant, look at my boss." Not waiting for him to finish. "Pa Ji," Qiu Wandao smashed down again. Can you not launch a sneak attack?" Chen Tianfei's head swelled up again. He was in so much pain that he immediately ran away. He really couldn't be together with an old pervert. Qiu Wandao glared at him and said, "You've already forgotten what I just said, let's see if you still dare to be cocky in the future." His strength couldn't defend him at all. In just a short day, Qiu Wandao's and elderly in green's cultivation had increased by another level. This was because of Long Fei's destiny changer. It was as if a new world had opened up for them. Qiu Wandao walked in front of Long Fei and said, "Are you really going to continue this competition?" Long Fei nodded and said, "No one can stop me from doing what I, Long Fei, want to do. If my father did not succeed, I will definitely succeed." Qiu Wandao let out a heavy sigh and said, "Long Fei, I also know that I can't persuade you. In short, you must be careful, and not only will you have to face 18 matrial halls, Pan family, and the high and mighty palace question of God." Chen Tianfei muttered, "It's that bad. Isn't he the enemy of the entire immortal domain? Wow, just 2 months and so many things happened. Luckily, I managed to catch up." Chen Tianfei was smug again. Long Fei replied, "I will be careful." Qiu Wandao suddenly thought of something, and said, "Oh right, do not be so foolish as to attack the boundary in the arena in the future. The rebound power is too strong. The boundary that you destroyed today should be at the 5th rank of heaven stage. It's very easy for you to break through boundary, as long as you can find the person controlling the boundary." Long Fei. He was a bit speechless and murmured, "I was too stupid. I forgot about that." Following that, Long Fei asked some questions about his father, but Qiu Wandao didn't say anything. He only told him that his father was in closed-door cultivation. Perhaps he had come out of seclusion. Perhaps it wouldn't be long before they meet. Long Fei was looking forward to meeting his father for the first time in his heart, and his mind had never had the same impression of his father. The two of them walked out of the courtyard. Qiu Wandao shouted at Fat Men Chen, "Fatty, remember what I said." "Got it." Chen Tianfei did not turn back. Long Fei asked, "What did he say?" Fat Men Chen scratched his head and laughed, "Nothing." In his heart, however, he thought to himself, "I will use my life to protect boss." Chapter 924 New Lineup. Chapter 924 New Lineup. Chen Tianfei was the guardian. He would use everything that he had to block any damage to Long Fei, no matter how much he had to pay with his life. The school competition, the second day. This time, the two gatekeeping disciples did not dare to stop Long Fei and the others. Instead, they looked down at Long Fei and did not dare to take another glance. They were afraid. Long Fei brought arrogant dragon squad into the training grounds. He's here. They're here. It's him. He's the one who destroyed Boundary and killed Elixir Martial Arts Branch's principal Xu Tianhe. He's too cool. I heard that today's alchemy and team competition will be carried out at the same time. Today's team competition is a place between 16 and 4. Just watch, they're not that comfortable today. The boundaries in the arena have also changed. Rising to the peak, forget about virtual immortal stage, even golden immortal rank would be destroyed by this. When Long Fei walked into the training grounds, the tens of thousands of people in the plaza all looked at him. His name had already shaken the entire God Emperor city. Everyone was talking about him. Fat Men Chen followed behind Long Fei with a face full of smugness, and said, "Boss, these people are looking at you." Long Fei said, "In the future, they will look at you the same way." Chen Tianfei grinned, "I just want a few girls to look at me." Xiao Ying pointed to the stand, and said, "There's a 300 to 400 Jin girl staring at you." Her eyes lit up. "She must have taken a fancy to you. The two of you together might be able to form a team. It's called a 1,000-pound team. Poochie." The girls laughed. The Fat Men Chen did not mind, and said, "If this fatty wants to play, then play with the most beautiful woman in the God Emperor city, MPH. Not long after, Long Fei and the rest still walked to the place that was filled with trash. Fat Men Chen was startled. He did not know what happened yesterday. He looked at the trash heap beside him and said, "We are in this kind of place. Holy sh**. Isn't this a little 2F*** king bullying?" Fat Men Chen was instantly enraged. Long Fei looked at him and said, "Are you very angry?" Fat Men Chen said, "It's more than just anger. I can overturn the hearts of his entire family." Long Fei said, "Then wait until the arena for a moment before using your power to overturn his entire family." The fatty could not be provoked. He would become extremely angry whenever he was provoked, and that was exactly what Long Fei needed. The 1,000 shall be the team leader's main attack, the fatty shall be the tank's main defense, and the Han senior sister will be in charge of controlling the entire situation, making up for it at any time. Xiao Ying, you will be in charge of protecting Man Tuoluo, you will be in charge of long-range attacks. Long Fei quickly said, "Don't think too much into it, just do it." Also, today's team competition is not a knockout competition, it is a point competition. As long as you can enter the top 4 tomorrow, you will have to admit defeat if you really can't beat them. You definitely can't be like yesterday. Long Fei looked at them and said, "Even though the competition is important, you two are more important than the competition. Aoya, Ling Long, leader Sun, you will be in charge of the logistics." Long Fei said. Long Fei looked at Aoya. Aoya stared at the Fairy Hall elder again, clenching her fists tightly. Long Fei said in a low voice, "I know what you're thinking, I will give you the chance." It was also at this time. 8 Fairy Hall elder were seated. One of them said lightly, "Let's begin the competition, don't waste time." At this time, Ouyang Zhon hurriedly said, "The competition begins." Team competition. Today is the competition of points. Of the 16 teams, the top 4 will enter the top 4 tomorrow. The first match. The screen of the Black Stone started rolling. Arrogant Dragon Squad against the Blood Skeleton Battle Team. Invite 2 teams in. The number 1 team in the White Tiger Courtyard, the number 3 seeded team in the tournament, was in existence with a powerful force. Long Fei's brows tightened. He did not expect to meet such a strong team from the very beginning. It was a bit unexpected. Fat Men Chen became excited. "Blood skeleton, right? I want them to become dead skeletons." After which, he strode out. Long Fei warned again, Chen, remember my words. If you can't do it, admit defeat. You must ensure your safety." Long Fei also wanted to participate, but alchemy competition would soon begin. If he participated, then the alchemy competition would be empty, and he would lose. Alchemy competition was different from team ranking, it was not a system of points. Seeing Long Fei standing in place without moving, Ouyang Zhon laughed coldly. Today, this old man will play with you until you die. White Tiger Dean walked over and said, the most painful thing in the world is watching our loved ones die one by one. Moreover, he can't do anything at all. Ouyang Zhon laughed out loud, and said, the happiest thing in the world is to just watch everything that's happening, to see Long Fei's helplessness, ha ha ha. White Tiger Dean said, Brother Ouyang, your move is very powerful. Ha ha ha. Elder Pan said that as long as you can kill a person from Arrogant Dragon Squad and get 10 immortal crystals, your White Tiger Dean would be lucky. Ouyang Zhon laughed. Then the two of them burst out laughing at the same time. Blood Skeleton Battle Team, previously ranked 5th. His strength was extraordinary. This year, their strength was even more powerful, and they had gathered the 5 strongest disciples from the White Tiger Kung Fu tribe. When they landed on the stage, the auras they released were extremely dense, and among them, there were 3 disciples who were in the Blood Immortal realm. Very powerful. Song Qianqian's group of 5 walked into the boundary and warned in a low voice, be careful, they're very strong. Buzz. When the 5 Arrogant Dragon Squad S entered the stage, the Array Boundary S immediately activated. The new formation was even more powerful. Long Fei looked at the power released from the boundary. This kind of boundary was not something he could destroy, unless, just as he was preparing himself for the alchemy competition. The person who appeared on the alchemy competition wasn't him. Long Fei's brows tightened, and thought in his heart, I've been tricked. Ouyang Zhon looked at Long Fei's ugly expression and immediately laughed loudly. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, do you think that you will be the first one to go up? You've been tricked, right? Today, I will toy you to death. Ouyang Zhon laughed at him loudly. The muscles at the corners of Long Fei's eyes twitched slightly. Killing intent rose as he said coldly, you still have a day to live, cherish it well. Ling Long looked at Long Fei and asked, Senior brother, Sister Qian, are you in danger? Aoya said, Blood Skeleton Battle Team Captain Ning Xie, Blood Immortal Stage Level 3, and his Demon Beast Immortal Root had reached Level 8 a month ago. Both of you have cultivated to the 7th level of the Immortal Foundation. I'm worried. The Blood Skeleton Battle Team was famous for their viciousness, their methods would definitely be ruthless and wouldn't give Song Qianqian any hope. Long Fei's heart tightened, and said, they've already gone up on stage, now we can only rely on themselves. There was no way to stop it. Long Fei did not enter the stage again. Everything depended on them. Go for it. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.